And be prepared. Like I said, we might go because I got a lot to say. So it's a pretty long video.
Oh boy. All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right, all right, we're live. We're live. What's up, guys? What's
Going
up?
on.
So, welcome to the Devil's Advocate live stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I see you. I see you did the name. My good friend right here, right? Follow him. You can see his tags. Great guy. I am happy to get him to come on to live stream with me today because I think tonight will be a really good conversation. So what I think the best thing is having someone on to maybe be a balance or maybe even like see my point. So it's nice to have someone to either maybe to see if I'm being delusional or I'm making some good points. So I think it's fun. It's nice to have someone to maybe, like I said, either keep me in check or see the logic in it. Yo, Tux, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming by. You know what? This is here, like you just said it, right? Yes, I'm pretty sure you're answering the
yeah. I already got
live.
an opinion.
Yes. So, like you said, yes, but not all are typically just the younger ones. Here's my thing, right? Maybe it could be the younger ones, right? So tonight is basically are black women black men's biggest haters? Now it is a general topic, maybe just for clickbaity kind of thing, because again, I my dating history has been predominantly black women, and I mean, I haven't had the most easiest time, or the smoothest. So I've had my fair share of difficulties dating black women, and I'm pretty sure my friend has some stories himself. But I find it that, let's say this, especially the internet black women, right? Women that either post online videos and stuff like that often, or women that, comment or active online. They seem to be the biggest haters of black men, okay? The biggest pushers of misandry. I would say this, right? I think women are the biggest haters of men in general, especially the internet women, right? Internet women that pretty much women that post shit online is just hate. It is just hate towards men. But I'm making this stream or the kind of the topic a little bit more streamlined because again, I've always said this is general, right? I never think my channel is strictly about black men or black women, shit like that. It's more about general. But tonight is going to be a bit streamlined because I have a particular video of let's say an online creator. She's called I'm Just a Girl. Okay. She has been getting a lot of hate, recently online by black women. So that's why tonight's live will be a bit streamlined because that's the main core of tonight's video. Because here's the thing. I think black women out of most women are the biggest perpetrators of this, in the sense that you cannot hold black women accountable. You cannot critique black women. You can't say shit that's negative or that holds women, but black women in particular, accountable for their actions, for their words. You can't, because then it's always deemed as you're hateful, you're misogynistic, you are dusty, whatever. All these things, you're down low, you're gay, all it, you name it. Okay. But here's the thing. I've had this. I've had comments like, "Why are you talking about black women? Or why are you talking about our community?" Okay, but here's the thing. Just like your name is trying to be a play on words. Kevin Samuels, a black man, couldn't even hold women accountable, or tried to hold black women accountable, yet attacked him. So really, okay, boom. You don't even listen to black men. Okay, fine. Now, in this particular, what I'm saying is that it's a woman, right? Holding black women accountable. Boom. Yo, Alvi. Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you for stopping by. I always love it when you come by. Yeah, and in this case, a black woman is holding other black women accountable. Okay, she has a nonprofit organization helping young black women. Okay, so she has her life, her history is focusing on helping black women, and yet even she can't hold black women accountable or not allowed to hold black women accountable. So that's something I want to talk about, where you have black men can't do it. Now black women can't do it. So really, I don't give a shit if you think that I can't do it, because even people in your own community, you don't allow or shit like that. So, that's the gist of tonight's. You got someone there?
Yeah. I was just trying to keep the volume down. No, yeah. You're all good. All right, I gotta ask you something.
Go ahead.
We haven't even gone into the video yet, right? What's the difference? You said black women are the biggest haters of black men. Okay. And are there women who love black men?
Here's the thing, right?
If you ask a white woman or somebody else,
that thing was more like a clickbait. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say this. I would say internet black women are the biggest haters of black men. Okay. Now I'm not. Of course, yes, I'm being sensational. Okay. I'm being clickbaity. So, of course, I don't deem all, because again, I've dated predominantly black women. I know good black women, and I think a lot of times, and I agree, right? I'll say this, right? Internet black women are definitely different than real life black women in a sense. So I'm not, I'm not really going like all black women are. No, because if you look at statistics, black men marry black women. That's statistics. And they marry black women majority of the time. They're not like going outside their race and shit like that. No, that's not what I'm doing. But here's the thing. Why am I doing this? Okay, why am I going back this? Because here's the thing. Yes, statistically, black women and black men, they marry each other predominantly, and they're not, going outside of the race to marry and shit like that. But here's the thing. Why I do say that is that we have to understand that we live in a modern age where social media, YouTube, TikTok, all this shit is very active in all our lives. So the hate, the ideology, the viewpoints of internet will seep into our minds. Because here's the thing. Marriage in the black community is an all-time low. Even though, yes, black men marry black women, vice versa, it's at an all-time low. Okay. Not many do it. Okay? When you think about it, it's at an all-time low, yet divorce rate within the black community is also high. So this is a thing where I'm not saying like it's 1-to-1, but there's some correlation that we have and it's also a thing, right? You wonder why, what's this Asian boy talking about this? But here's the thing. I love black people, right? I said it. I date predominantly black women. And I'm not saying like, I'm going after black women. No, but it's just so my history is, I have my history of friends showed me my history of dating is that I work well or I interact well with black people, right? So I love the black community. I promote black community because one of the things where I want to do in my future is that, if I can, I want to help push, black people in the sense that I want to teach financial education to, if I can ever do that, right? It's just a thought part. Yeah. I want to contribute. And one of the things I want to contribute is that let's take out the color, the race. I support men, regardless of race. I support men. So, and I think, right, black men are suffering, in my opinion. Okay, where how can you have all this vitriol and this negativity towards black men? Because we're going to see a video where these are black women, right? Putting out black men and thinking about they themselves are pushing the stereotypes of black men.
Okay.
And that's the thing where if supposedly, right, society, white man, all this shit hates you, yet then your own women that share your own complexion pushes the vitriol, then what now, right? What now, right? You have an Asian guy coming in and defending black men is the insanity. So that's where I'm going out. Where that's my viewpoint.
Okay.
So,
all right.
What do you think so far?
I mean, I'm curious to see the video, and then I think I have some pre-thoughts, but I want to see some examples of what you're talking about first.
Okay, so I mean, like always, right? This is probably going to be a long video, right? I am also, celebrating that you're coming by and join me for the video, but I always like to do a Kendra G reaction, right? It's always good to get the ball moving, right? A little bit, I guess, some blood flow, right?
Okay.
And everyone loves some Kendra G, so
let's do it.
Try that out.
It's great.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start out. I'm going to go into the root of tonight's video, but before that, let's get the ball rolling with a Kendra G reaction, right?
What's your name, love? Yes. Serena? How you spell it? Serena? Okay.
I'll be 45 next month.
Okay. You're 45. So you're a 4.
She looks really good, 45.
Yeah, I would never have guessed 45.
I would never have guessed that too.
Mm-mm.
But I always like to do this, right? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. As women age, they become big red flags. Okay? Here's a 45-year-old, decent looking.
Uh-huh.
But then, I've said this before. At 45, you're decent looking. You're still looking for a man. I've said this. Dating for women is easy. And yet, you're still looking for a man later in life.
You're saying she's always been looking for a man the whole time?
Well, you're still in the dating market, right? That's the thing where, great. See, this is why I love you, because it maybe pushes me to explain things more.
Uh-huh.
Because why it's a red flag is that you're seeing it where here's a woman that she's attractive. She has either been attracted or attract terrible men. So that's why she's still in the dating market. And I think that's a red flag.
Okay.
2, you are hard to deal with. So any men that you've been with, well, you couldn't make it work because either you attract terrible men or you're just hard to deal with, right? So
okay, let's see.
34. So I guess we'll say 45. So are you a Virgo or
I don't follow that. Like,
okay. Okay, no worries. Serena, where you calling from, Bill? Serena, where Venus?
Listen, give me that check.
Okay. You can call me Serena. Just give me the check. I know you probably heard that your whole life. Where, girl? You like
I can learn it. So I need that money.
Serena, 45.
I do. I have 2 girls.
How many? 2 girls. How old are you?
16 and 12. No.
Both by the same man? No.
I was married. That was 2021.
Okay. 2021. Was it one of your children's dads? Right. Okay. Serena, 45, you said mom of 2 girls. Like you mentioned, she was married.
Well, I am a nurse, but I'm in school now to be a nurse practitioner in behavioral health. So mental.
a lot of red flags. 45, 2 daughters by 2 different men, a divorcee, a nurse. A lot of red flags, right? So that is interesting.
Nurse practitioner.
All right. So they told me to
Oh,
shut
yeah.
that. So let's just wait 5 seconds. Okay, just wait 5 seconds before you, well, 7 seconds
Okay.
before you respond.
Just a delay.
So we got Serena, 45, Houston, mom of 2 girls, 16 and 12. She's a nurse, also a school first, mental health. Was once married. Her 2 girls by 2 men. What kind of
Okay, someone who is genuinely kind, genuine. Oh, you know what? You said wait 7 seconds. I'm sorry. So genuinely kind, humble, somebody who is not flashy. Like some men are just too into themselves, and I can't. That's not masculine to me. So someone who can let me be the feminine person, and they be a leader. Somebody who has ambition. You know what? Primarily a God-fearing man. I think, I can go down a list of things, but if he's not God-fearing, a lot of things not even gonna matter. So somebody who really is like pursuing God, pursuing not spirituality, but Jesus. So because that's my life, and I feel like with that, a lot of the qualifications would be met. So
I'm sorry, right? Modern day women that ask for a God-fearing man is a red flag.
That's the red flag. Everything's a red flag.
Because you got to think about this, right? It's very important that she's 45, not 25. Okay. Right? She has 2 kids by 2 different men, a divorcee. I always think this: when a woman says she's God-fearing, she doesn't live by the word of God. And I'm not really a godly man, but I'm not saying I want a God-fearing woman. Right? So this is a thing where I've said this on my channel before, and I'm glad you're here too. I don't think God is promoting divorce, nor do they promote, 2 kids, either kid out of wedlock, 45 career woman. God is not promoting women to be, ambitious, strong career women. And a lot of women, right, at 45, a lot of women are not the follow a leader type of woman, especially when it comes to a man. So that's why I said, right, 45 is red flag, is because at 45, there's a high chance that you have already become harder to deal with, in the sense that you have lived your life as you are the leader of your own life. So it is hard for you to now submit to a God-fearing man. So that's how I see it.
Okay.
Be kind, gentle, humble. Somebody who is serious. I think in our age bracket, nobody should be just out here trying to just be having fun. So somebody who's serious minded, who is ready for marriage with one person, and not still looking while they're dating me. Somebody who, if you can see within a few months or even a few weeks, I think there should be things that you can see and say, this might be somebody I want to continue with and get serious. So somebody like that, somebody who wants to take care of a wife and not, just be taken care of. And somebody who is health conscious. So they don't have to be in the gym all the time or like buff, but just somebody who, because I'm in the healthcare field, I've been like a nurse for going on 19 years. So I see a lot of things. And so I wouldn't want to be like taking care of somebody who's just kind of like whatever about their health, but somebody who just maybe want to try to be healthier, maybe let me implement some things, into their life, kind of help them be better health-wise. And yeah, so that's just a short list.
Not the end off with. That's just a short list.
But those are the more important things. So let me just.
Okay. Now you mentioned some things. Let's go to deal breakers. Wait 7 seconds.
Deal breakers would be someone who really doesn't have a heart for the things of God. So that would just equate to, I think, somebody very superficial. just all about looks, all about money, because money comes and goes. And so if their happiness depends on that, then their, moods are going to be like that. So somebody who's not superficial, somebody who is superficial, somebody who smokes or drinks, that is just, it's very nasty to me. Somebody who is, just can be just tell lies, just very easily just tell lies. And because, that messes up a foundation. You can't, I can deal with bad news and I can deal with, reality, but I can't deal with a non-reality, So that's a big one. So military people, no military.
No what?
Or they are they're trained a certain way, to be a certain way that I just find, you know what, let me not say that. I'm not going to say that because there are even some Christian military people, but I think the ones that are very brash, and, who have a real aggressive attitude, I wouldn't want that.
The men somebody said, I really like her. So let me get that name so you can know. Carby Juma said, I do really like her. Okay. All right. Do you have any more deal breakers before I go to the next question?
All right, pause. All right, so I'm sure we're gonna get into it. But what do you think is wrong with what she wants with her preferences so far?
Here's the thing, right? Here's my state of mind when I go into this. She's 45. That's the thing that
you gotta learn. You learn some lessons in life.
But here's the thing, right? It's true. You learn lessons in life,
but
there are consequences to actions. You're not. That's life is hard knock, right? There's consequences. So here's the thing, right? I've said this: women can have whatever preferences, standards they want, but life will show you if you qualify for it, right? At 45, I'm not saying I said it right. 45, she's decent looking, and men. I've said this: women will never run out of options. The problem is they will run out of options that they want. Okay, that's the real problem. Women will run out of options with the men they want. Here's a woman that says, no superficial men. Really? You want a provider, i.e., a man that has money. You want a man that's health conscious, well, i.e., a man that has a decent body shape, this decent look, right? Because again, women use words that really means other things as well. So you could see this in things where she can have whatever standard she wants, yet you are 45. Your standards have not produced you a long-term relationship. Okay, that's the thing where I view it at. Where I've never said women can't get a man. I will say women can't get the man that you want. That's the thing. Because again, here's a woman that I'm pretty sure when they do the Kendra G camera, right, where you see a body, she probably decent shape, not bad face. So really, what's the problem, right? What's the problem? It's her personality. It's her standards that don't match her. It's the standard that, the men that she wants, well, they're not going to commit to her. They don't want her, right? At least not for long term. So that's the thing where a lot of women have to understand how you go about things. Yet, I think men, you hear the red pill or whatever men saying, you won't get a man or you'll die alone. Well, it's because of your ideals, right? Because women will be able to get a man. You just won't get the man that you want.
Okay. All right. So her options are gone. Her options, as according to her preferences, are gone. Is what you're saying?
Yes, I do. I mean, again, here's the thing. At 45 and all this stuff, is it impossible? No, but it could be one man that's all the way across the U.S. That doesn't mean that it's a good chance. Okay, there is chances, but if you're still 45, decent looking, that shows you that, although it's not impossible, is improbable because they have shown that your pool is small. So it's not like an abundance of men. That's the thing where you have to think if she was like, let's say 25 with a standard she has, well, that pool would have been bigger. Okay. If she was 25, not 2 kids, not a divorcee, her pool would have been bigger, even if she had the standards she has. But again, it's a sad reality that men know it. The things you do in life, well, there's consequences to your actions. And so because she wasted her life, picked terrible men, waste time with terrible men, well, her standards is she's not going to be easy to find the men that she wants. What do you think? Yeah.
All right. I'm formulating a larger opinion. I'm gonna provide that the next break.
Complete turn off would be people who are again in my age, because I get a lot of young people that are with me because they don't know my age, and in their 20s and things like that. But something that does not work well with me is people who dress like they're in high school, all like the ripped jeans. I'm not saying they have to walk around in a suit and tie all the time, but jeans are fine, but like the trendy, like ripped jeans, stuff like that, I'm not really into that. Yeah. More clean cut.
What about looks? Do you look a certain way?
Okay, so looks, I'm kind of flexible on. I used to be, into light skinned people. That was just my thing growing up. But I find that I'm starting to be more attracted to darker skin. Taller than me. I'm 5'4". I'm a little girl, and somebody taller than me, at least 5'6". Like take care of themselves. Nice teeth, a nice smile, just very personable. I mean, well, that's character, but looks wise, that's kind of and clean cut.
And clean cut. Okay. And did he make a certain amount of money?
I can't say more than me. I think if they make maybe about as much as me, maybe not too much lower than me, because again, I feel like in a relationship you kind of work together, but he has to have a mind to want to provide for me. So it really isn't so much about the dollar amount, but being able to at least afford me, some basic things. And if I need, help, of course, because I'm looking for marriage. So if it's a situation, where I have to carry the bulk of everything, then that's probably not gonna work. Yeah.
So is there a minimum amount of money?
I guess I didn't think too hard about that. Maybe.
So would you dating a man?
Sorry, say it again.
Would you date a man that makes less money than you?
I have. Yeah. So I would. But like I said, it's all about those other things. Like if you're ambitious and all that, like we'll start moving up the ladder. So it's really not like, yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's do the Kendrick can.
Okay. I can't get my feet in, but
okay, you look good. Okay, all right, girl. So when was your last trip?
Let me say this, right? I do want to. At 45, women need to be more focused. So here's a woman that really what she wants in a man is not clear cut. And I hate that. When you are at a certain age, this is a thing where you're wasting your time. I think that's a problem with a lot of women, especially, let me say this, right? Especially black women, where you need to be laser focused. And this is a problem. Black women, especially, they are laser focused in career, education. They know what they want. They're not wasting their time. They push. They really grind when it comes to those two. Yet when it comes to men, it's very lackadaisical, right? It's whimsical. It's not. There's no focus. There's no. And yet, you wonder why you're not getting the men that you want, because you don't even know what really you want until you date the bum. And you say, oh, I don't want that. Then you date the cheaters. Oh, I don't want that. It's like you want to gain experience on what you don't want instead of, you know what? How about putting some thought into what you don't want and what you want? Because this is the problem. Women like this, no matter what race, you're wasting your time. And I always think that time is so important for everyone, but especially women.
If I ask you to describe the type of woman you want.
Okay, I can. A woman that's not bigger than me. So I've dated plus size women. Just be wider than me. That's it. Right?
Okay.
Don't be wider than me. Don't be taller than me. Because I don't want to feel like a kid.
Okay.
Right? I don't want to feel small.
Mm-hmm.
And looks, it's not the. I mean, if you are like a 4 and above, I'm fine. Okay. So I've dated. And all I really care is that you want to be with me. You find me attractive, right? You treat me like you actually want to be with me. For me, I go about personality. Throughout, like I said it, right? Throughout my life, the black women I've dated were either skinny or plus size, right? Not bigger than me, but I've dated the spectrum, okay? Of like really skinny women, really decently sized women. Right? I dated women that are about the same height as me, or maybe a little shorter than me. Right? I've learned from me is like that's the thing where I learned that what is really making me happy in a relationship isn't necessarily her looks.
Okay.
How she treats me.
Okay.
That's the thing I find the problem with a lot of women is that you're not focusing on what actually makes the relationship work. Okay? Because here's the thing. Let's say this. Here's a woman that says, I want a provider. Okay, cool. But I guarantee you, right, a woman like this has had provider men. Right? Has had provider men. And yet it still has failed. So really, is that what made your relationship work? Because obviously it didn't. For me, my history is that, you know what? I've had women that didn't even care for me that much. Who actually, because of time, showed me that, you know what? They actually didn't, wanted to be with me. So that's one thing I see, like, I want a woman that actually wants me and shows she wants me. That's the thing where, you know what? Because I've provided for women. That's not a problem for me. Right? I've been there. I've been the romantic type, the gentleman, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that, you know what? No matter how that girl looks, she treats me like shit. So really, it don't change that.
Okay. All right. So someone you're attracted to doesn't treat you like shit.
Yeah. And again, attraction level, I'm being realistic. Right? Like I said, a 4. I'm not hoping that I'm dating a model. Okay. But I'm hoping that she's not like, I need to put a bag over her head. So really, there's a range to that.
I think all that she's saying when she describes the man she wants is what we know women want, right? They want someone they want someone who's attractive. We all do. Mm-hmm. And they want someone who can provide for them. And they want someone who's gonna be sensitive to their feelings and needs, which we know women's feelings and needs are far more complex than what ours are most of the time, right? Because I
think I would say they're complex because even they don't know what it is. Right? And parasocial said it, right? Attraction dies over time. Uh-huh. I think what sustains attraction, that's not the physical, is how you treat a person. Right? Okay. It's a personality. Right? And I think honestly, none of the things she says is character. I want a man that's morally sound. I want a man that's monogamous in mindset. I want a man that, you know what, that here's the thing, right? I always said this: we're women, because I honestly, provider is rare. A provider man is rare. I'm sorry, in today's day and age, it's 50-50. Most women don't qualify for provider men.
I disagree.
How so?
I disagree because if you find that's like saying a good man is rare, because you find a good man, his mindset.
No. Provider and good men are not. They don't. It's not like the same side of the coin.
I disagree. Here's
How
why.
so?
Because if a woman wants women want providers,
Yes.
right? If you just define a provider as somebody who's got it all and it's not a problem to take care of somebody, that's one thing. But you be a provider because that's your mindset.
Uh-huh.
You go into the relationship thinking, hey, this is my woman who I'm going to take care of, and if we have a family together, I'm going to take care of them. And most good men have that mindset, whether they have guap or not. They have the willingness to work, right? So a woman wants someone who's willing to be a provider, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We don't want that because we're the opposite. We don't want to provide. We want to provide for somebody who.
No, okay. Here's the thing, right? I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Why I said that today's day and age is a luxury. Being a provider is a luxury because here's the thing. Here's the sad reality of it. People want to live like the Jones. People want to live like what they see on social media. Here's the thing where I work, people like women are saying, oh, I want to go on trips like every year. I want to do this every year. I want to travel. I want to do, because here's the thing where, yes, men can provide and men want to provide. But here's the thing where are men in society providing how women want them to be? This is why I think that a lot of marriages or a lot of relationships either fail or don't happen because of that mindset. Yes, men, in my opinion, providing is the basics. A roof over your head, the bills, maybe groceries, shit like that, right? It's the basics. But here's the thing. Nowadays, women are adding on extras. And I'm sorry, when you add on extras, and here's also, women are bringing in baby mamas, bringing in their kids. You know, maybe you're a father bringing in your kids. That's where reality hits, right? The real world will hit you. Because again, that's why I said, honestly, it's a luxury that most people can't afford. Even though good men will want to do it. But I will say this, most men can't afford it, right? And if to afford it, well, you're going to sacrifice things. Let's say a man that can afford it, well, he's sacrificing time with his girl, with his kids. He's not going to see them because, again, he's going to have to break his back to provide the necessities plus for her to be happy, for the provision of her and her kid, of the kids. That's the thing where society right now, most men can't afford it. So yes, good men want it. I say that society, reality, you can't afford it.
Now, did she say, in her defense, did she say she wanted luxury, or did she just say she wanted?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? I'm saying this where she's not saying it, but her life shows it.
Okay.
This is the thing where I said it. At 45, you have lived a certain life where I'm like I said, she must have been with provider men, right? But it has failed. So I'm saying life will show you your results, right? So that's where I'm going about.
3 years ago. My last series. 3 weeks, 3 years. 3 years, yeah.
3 years ago. 3 years. Okay. 3 years ago. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
So my last serious relationship was 3 years ago. So I'll just leave it at that.
You leave it at that. So 3 years ago. Are you not? You mentioned God a couple of times. Are you waiting to marriage, or are you on a celibacy journey?
I am, and
like the Wi-Fi is messing up though on your end.
Okay, can you hear me though? I'm not hearing. I'm not knowing it. Okay,
I can hear you. Yeah. But out for a second. We are having audio. We're having Wi-Fi.
That's okay. It's probably my fault. We had a storm and it's been kind of funky since then, but we can continue.
So I think I asked you, we're talking about this. Are you on a celibacy journey? Are you not having, I don't know, I could be wrong. I was kind of sensing that, but I
Yes, so my answer was yes. And somebody asked.
So was there a goal? Is it
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is it a goal to marriage or relationship? Like, what's the goal?
In being celibate?
Yes.
Okay, so, before you come to God, you have your own mindset, you have your own way of thinking. And for anyone who truly comes to God, you abandon your own way and you accept God's way, what's in the scripture. So, that life I lived before, it was not helping me. It wasn't catering to the things my soul needs. And so I found that the closer I got to the Lord, the more I adopted his ways and what's in the scripture, and it's a journey for everybody. But the more you adopt, the more you realize the negative impacts of just, our way of thinking. He has what's best for us. So that was one of the things I realized that, I used to hate that term soul ties, right? Because I'm like, it's not that deep, right? But it is that deep, actually. And it's why we can't detach from some people that we have been with like that, is because there is that joining in spirit. It's a spiritual matter that's deeper than we understand. And so now that I understand that, I've decided there's no reason for me to be unequally yoked with people who I'm not in contract with, marriage contract.
So I gotta just ask. I feel it's the backstory. The question is simple though. Are you celibate to marriage?
Oh, I thought you said the reason. Okay. Yes. To marriage. Yeah, to marriage.
Okay. So you're not having sex again until
That's
you're
the goal.
Okay. That's the goal. I think it's important for
And
the
yes, for whoever said it, yes, that is a Pentecostal skirt. If that's what you want to call it. Yeah.
Okay. 3 flaws you have to work on.
Okay, so one of
Here's the thing where I think this is a perfect segue to your viewpoint, where I've said this countless times before in my lives, my reactions. Here's a problem what I have with how women view scripture, view God, view the Bible. It's that it is a cop-out. It is a shitting on good men kind of ideology. So why do I say certain things like that? Is that, here's the thing. She's 45. Mm-hmm. She hasn't really, honestly, I don't believe, because how she's talking, have lived a virtuous or God-filled life, right? A divorcee. I doubt she was married twice. I'm pretty sure she wasn't. So most likely 1 or 2 children out of wedlock. Most likely it's just 2 men, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't, plenty of, marital sex. I mean, outside of marriage. Okay. And this is a thing where at 45, what is a man getting? What's so great about it now? Where now you had lived the life that you deem well, is that now this man who you were requiring marriage, he has to do more, right? And get a lot less than other men. Because in my opinion, what men get out from women is their youth and their beauty and their body. Right? Because that's what women give men, right? Women aren't, like you were talking about provider, women aren't providing for men. Women aren't, paying shit for men. So really the most basic, right? Of course, there's a little bit more nuance to it, but the more basic is that men get women's beauty, men get women's body, right? That's the most basic. And yet here's the thing where man she wants is still a rare man, like I was talking about before. he's a rare man, yet gets mediocre things, or maybe as harsh as it sounds, a used product, a well-used product, right? So, but here's the thing where she uses God to cop out of it, right? So like, no, now I want a celibate journey, right? And I'm pure or whatever, right? So, but it's like using the ideals of God to kind of pressure, or maybe not pressure, but change men's mind, right? So that's where I think, like, now, because now I think about, like, this is just, I don't know if I would call it sacrilege, but it's just really weird that that's how you're going to use the word of God, when honestly, up until right now, up until the last few years, you really didn't live by the word of God, right? And this is how I think why I said it's a red flag, because I'm sorry, but it happens a lot with black women where they want to use the Bible how they see fit. Okay? What do you think?
I mean, if I take what she's saying at face value, because what you're saying is you don't believe her. That's what you're saying. You don't believe her.
What I'm saying is that, you know what? I dig in a little bit deeper by looking at her lifestyle, looking at her life, looking at her results. Yes, I don't believe her by how she has lived, that it doesn't equal the words she's saying.
So for a lot of people who come into spirituality, that's how it works. You start off being crappy or devilish. You learn from your bad behavior and bad consequences. And if you apply yourself and change your ways, you work to get a better result, right? Like, it's not true, but the saying is insanity is trying to do the same thing all the time and get and expect different results. So maybe at some point, I'm just giving her the benefit of the doubt. At some point, she was like, hey, the way I'm living isn't right or isn't good for me. I'm going to change that. I'm going to try to be more spiritual. And if she is doing that for real, then when she wants companionship, it would have to be with a man who's spiritually and morally sound, right? And it would have to be someone who's willing to be a provider for her, and someone who she can be submissive to, right? Who's going to treat her right. So those are reasonable things for a woman to ask for.
I agree. There's a reasonable thing, right? But here's the thing
and at 45 though, hold on, at 45, she's still attractive, right? She still has a body. And if you get to know her, maybe she has a personality that's worth being. I think, all right, yeah, a woman, they can give you children, they can give you their body. Sex, I guess. But for marriage, especially for an older man like me, I'm 40. I want friendship and companionship and a partner who can help me with life if I decide to go that route. She seems intelligent. She's attractive. She has experience in life, and she's not on the streets, right? She hasn't completely failed at life. It might be worth getting to know her first before I say, hey, look, she's here's
the thing, right? Well, I said this. There's a few things, right? One of the things I said is that I've never say it's impossible. I never say that women don't have options. I say that women don't have options for the men that they want, right? I've said this before. I think you are a morally sound man. I think you have great qualities, but it's not like women are knocking down on your door, right? That's the thing. It is, but it is. But that's what I'm saying. It shows you that, you know what? Yes, are there men out there for women like this? Of course. No matter, she could be 55, right? 65 for all that matters. There'll still be men. But here's the thing where we have to understand that there are consequences to every action. Yes, you may find salvation or whatever. It doesn't mean that God will give you the results you want, right? Because your route to salvation, in my opinion, is more for yourself. Not necessarily for your change of life, but more change of your mindset, in my opinion. That's how I believe when you now want to follow the word of God, it's more for your own mindset, not for your change of life. Because again, you're not old. You don't deserve a change of life just because you're changing your mindset. You will get what consequences, whatever happens. Because here's the thing. Even on the flip side, let's say a woman that's been for the streets for
Mhm.
all her life. She's 45. Well, even if she has changed, now she's holier than thou. Like, go by the book strictly. It don't mean that she is now owed better results. Or it don't mean that she will owe a man that's also very strict and all this stuff. She doesn't owe it, nor does she deserve it. It's more for the mindset, and it's more for, you know what, her own self-salvation, in my opinion. I'm not a Bible thumper, but it's that's how I view it, because again, real life, you're not owed anything. You don't deserve anything. You work for it. And sadly, let's say this, at 45, even if she works for it, it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. Okay? Especially, like I said, if it's her mindset, let's say that if there are men out there like you, she will go for, maybe, but probably not. Right? Because again, you may not, in her mind, men like you may not qualify for her. That happens because I said there are plenty of men out there for women. It's just that women don't choose these men.
How many men out there have multiple kids by multiple women? They're about our age, right? There's got to be a few. Do they not deserve to find a good woman to settle down with? Especially if they decide, hey, when I was running the streets, that was crazy. I'm going to get my act together. I'm going to take care of my kids. I'm going to start acting like a godly man and being sensible instead of doing the things I used to do. Should they just be shunned for all the things they did in the past?
No. But here's the thing, right? We have to all live in reality. You don't deserve nothing. No one deserves anything, right? Now, we can work for it and we can make it as best as possible, as easy as possible. Here's the thing where, let's say this, right? I work on myself. Do I say I deserve a woman? No. But here's the thing where I make it the easiest path for me. Like I said, why would I say a 4? Why not say a 5 or 6 or a 7, right? Is that, you know what? Where I make my standards to not make it hard, to not make it impossible, right? To not make it, you know what, insane, unrealistic, right? This is the thing where I said, women say, I want to provide a man. How about this? I want a man that, you know what, that works hard, that doesn't need my help, takes care of himself, right? I.e., maybe like you, right? Where I'm not saying necessarily you're providing for a woman, but a woman doesn't need to worry about you begging her for money. Shit like that, where, you know what? There are plenty of men more like you than men, let's say maybe a man that like can provide a woman a home and all this shit. Well, that's what I'm saying, where there's levels to it. Where what's more important, where, like I said, looks is nice, right? I'm not saying I want an unattractive woman, but my main focus is how she treats me. So that's the thing where I say we need to be more realistic, right? We mean more grounded, where I don't say people deserve it, but people can steer their life, and change. Because this is the thing where I hate it when women like, let's say women like this, where they may meet a good guy, i.e., let's say you, right? But yet, because you don't follow what she deems she's worthy of or she deserves, now she thinks she's settling for you. Even though you are a good man, well, I think, in my opinion, I hear this so many times, that is heartbreaking for a man. To say that a woman that you supposedly love, say she's settling for you. I'm like, what? I've heard so many men, their hearts are broken when they hear the women they love, women they want to be with. It's like she's saying she's settling for you. And that's the thing where we women, a lot of people are living beyond their reality. That's the thing where I'm talking about, right? Where now you think you make these choices in life. Oh, I deserve a God-fearing man. I deserve a man, a provider. No, you don't, right? You don't deserve it. And you have to see what do you qualify for?
Would you get with someone you were not attracted to because you didn't feel like you deserved who you were attracted
to? I don't think like that, right? Now, would I get with a woman that I think is ugly is different. If I'm not, it's hard because I'm not saying that for me, I've become attracted to someone who treats me good. Right?
Okay. All right.
Now,
no, that's a change in you, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that I thought she was ugly and then she treated me well and then I changed. No, I thought she was like, okay, average. That's my thing where she's average. I don't think she's terrible. So really, but then what makes me think she's even more, where I fall in love with her harder, is that how she treats me. That's where I go about it.
But if I were, all right, so if I were someone who I'm like, if I was like, oh, I'm a good man. I'm gonna treat you right. I don't mind helping you take care of your kids. You know what I mean? I can provide for you and all that. But she didn't find me attractive, or she didn't love my personality. Not that I was gonna treat her bad, but that I don't know, I'm annoying or goofy or something like that. If she doesn't like me, she shouldn't be with me.
I agree, because a woman like that would say she's settling for you. That's the thing. But here's the thing, what I'm saying, like, that's a terrible mindset of women like that, right? Where, you know what? You are, because here's the thing, where now women find, let's say she goes with a man she's attracted to, and now he lacks the quality, right? Like what you said, oh, I want to take care of her, I want to take care of her kids, I want to be there for her. Now she's complaining about a man that she's attracted to not being you, right? Not being the type of man like you are. Okay, and now that's when I jump in and say that, you know, you're an idiot, you're delusional, you're a hypocrite, right? Because you focused on what you are attracted to, but you didn't focus on the quality of the man. And that's where I'm saying where that's the problem. That's the problem, right? And in my opinion, that's the problem with Black women.
As opposed to like white women or Asian women.
Well, I'll say this, right? Let me say this.
Are you think they're just the loudest online about it?
One, correct. They are probably the loudest online. But two, I honestly think that looks, I mean, let me say this, right? I know at least in the Asian community, looks is important, but looks is not what they think that is the end all to be all. Right? Let's say if they find a man, like what you were talking about, right? A man that would want to provide for them, take care of their kids, all this stuff, the personality. They would think that, you know what? I may not be absolutely enamored with this man's looks, but you know what? His quality, right? What he does, where he provides, is more important. And in my opinion, I think a lot of women, and in this case, Black women, focuses more on looks, focus on more the superficial things, and then ignore the morality, the principles, the personality, all that shit, until the man that they focus on the looks with doesn't have it, and now they complain. That's how I view it.
Okay, that's interesting. I think, and this will be all I say about it. I just wonder sometimes if, all right, a woman like that one, right? She's pretty now at 45. So she might have been a knockout at 25, right? And at 25, like we already talked about, probably rejected a lot of guys who probably would have been good for her because she wasn't attracted to them or didn't feel like they were on her level or whatever. I just wonder if sometimes, whether we intend to or not, we want to punish those women for rejecting us when we were younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she broke my heart when we were 25, do I want to look at her now at 45 and be like, well, that's what you get?
I don't promote that. That's bitterness. I don't promote. Right?
Okay. All right. I feel like sometimes guys do that.
But here's the thing, right? We're all humans. Yes. Insecurities, bitterness, it happens. Now, I wouldn't promote that, right? The perfect revenge is, you know, you being the best version of yourself, right? Being bitter, putting down people, it doesn't get you nowhere, right? Makes you no better than other people. So I'm not into that, right? So that's what I would say. All right, let's finish this up.
The flaws, and I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the 7 seconds today. One of the flaws is that I think, and this is something that I'm working on.
Now, I do want to say this, right? From this guy, DJ Torch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which community you're talking about. If you're talking about Black men in the community, I think that's sad. If you're talking about Asian men, I think that's sad too. Where I think this is the important thing, that because like I said, right, where you don't hold women accountable, because women are the loudest on social media. Women are the loudest on, okay, he said it, the black community. And I think that's sad. I think it's sad, right? That there's not many quality men in black community. I think it's sad, right? I think, in my opinion, the majority of men are good men. I just think the loudest are the bad men, right? And I think the most charming, or the men that, I don't know, go after the women are usually, the less quality of the men. It's just that, maybe the good guys, the nice guys, or maybe the more socially awkward men. But I don't know. It's my opinion. And I just think it's sad, because I think as men, we don't have enough men supporting, pushing other men. And I think I just think that's ugly, in my opinion. Now, I could continue to, I don't want to focus on the, constantly comments, but I think it's sad that this is the problem. This is the problem where we have men thinking like this. All right. That's the problem. Why you wonder why the things I say or things I do is because we have men thinking like this. Men don't even support other men. Right. So
I kind of like walk away from people kind of prematurely when I see things maybe I don't think are characteristics that I like, or maybe I think I don't give the benefit of doubt long enough to people. So that's something that I'm working on. I'm waiting, and I'm sticking around for a while now. And just seeing, if this is like circumstantial, or is it like a temporary thing, or is this really like the person's character like I need to run from? So I'm waiting around a little bit longer to see if it's a true person character. Another thing is that I think I give too much. It sounds bad, but I think I give too much in a relationship too soon. Because when I'm in a relationship, I'm fully invested in a relationship. I'm not like, I've never been in a relationship and talking to somebody on the side. I've never cheated on anyone. And so I feel like, okay, we're getting to know each other. This is our relationship. So this is what we're building. So I tend to give more than I probably should to people who are undeserving, if I can say that. So, yeah. And this is the last one. I think sometimes I can be impulsive when it comes to making big decisions. And that can span things like career, it can span things like purchases. But like,
Okay. Hey girl, I don't mean to cut you off, but
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Why would it gotta be like
I'm genuine. I think I'm just down to earth. I don't have like drama in my life. I try to stay away from that. And when I love genuinely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could a guy have
Yeah, he can have kids.
Should he be?
Preferably, but
What's the age range? Okay, yes, no.
preferably, but I mean, as a man and a leader, if like he's in Florida or something and he can provide, and I'm willing to move. My career is movable.
Your career is movable. Okay. And what's the age range you would be?
I would say between about 35 to 45.
35 to 45. Okay. So we got Serena. Are you on the
I just learned about
okay, so she's pretty, yeah. Now DJ or Tori, I hope that you guys would check my channel more often to see more other examples, more other ideology. I don't want to make this stream mad ass long with just this one segment. So we'll talk more about it if it goes inside with the other videos, because I still have the main video, and this has already gone longer than I thought it would have gone. But what is your kind of thoughts?
I get it. I see how those. I understand what you mean by red flags. She's gotten to 45 and she hasn't found a good man, but she's found men to make children with. Right. So she's probably exercised some bad judgment in her past. She's probably I don't know if that means she's ruined good relationships or if she's just chosen bad ones. But yeah, she hasn't made all the greatest decisions. I don't know if that means that she can't make better ones now. I get that her options might be more limited because I guess that happens to all of us as you get older. And if her standards if she wants what she wanted at 25, at 45, it's going to be harder to find. I agree. But until you get to know her, I don't know that she's lying about what she wants or how she feels or how she's behaving now.
Well, of course, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing where I say this, right? Just like Tori's asking. It's not I hold women to a lower standard. I hold people to a realistic standard. Okay. It's unrealistic if I'm saying I want a 9, if I want an 8, if I want a woman that's drop dead gorgeous, that's feminine, that's submissive, that is obedient, that makes 100K, that will provide for me as well. It's like there is a realistic standard. That's the thing. Now, I've said this. You can have whatever standards you want as long as it fits your reality. That's it, right? So if this woman, a 45-year-old woman, her standards is whatever she is, but that she said she's been single for 3 years, okay? So, but that's the thing. I go by what the word she said and the life she's lived. You can have whatever standards you want, yet if your standard does not produce results, well, is it really the right standards, right? And for me, that's why I've learned certain things where, hell, I want to drop dead gorgeous woman. I have dated a woman that me and some other friends have deemed like an 8, right? Yet that failed, right? So really, that's the thing where, in my mind, even though I've dated a woman that I think was an 8 or even a 7, that failing, right, shows me that, you know what, maybe I don't really qualify for that standard. And plus, I would say only one woman that has been like an 8. So really, is that a realistic standard for me that I've dated one woman that I and other people have deemed an 8? Not really. That's the thing where more realistic for me is that, you know what, I just want a woman that treats me well. That's more realistic. So that's why I'm saying that I don't deem women whatever standards they want, right? I'm more saying anyone, is that your standards fit your reality. That's the thing. And that's why I hold Black women and women accountable, women in general. But again, like you're probably saying, Black women are the most vocal. So really, the things you say, it better match out with reality. And it better make sense. But it doesn't. It really doesn't.
You think she's dogging Black men after she gets off camera?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. But here, let's move on quicker because I don't want to spend forever. So we're moving on quick, right? This will probably be the next hour, maybe hour and a half. So that's why I want to move on quick. Okay. Perfect thing, right? Why are you talking about Black women at all? DJ, you probably missed the beginning. I said this, right? I have dated predominantly Black women. I work in Black community. Predominantly my friends are Black. And this channel is my support towards men in general. Yet, I also support Black men under that umbrella of supporting men. Okay? And in my opinion, the things you said, right? The things you said shows me why, you know what? No one supports Black men, right? Neither Black women nor Black men, right? Let alone, I already know nobody supports men in general, right? Neither women nor men support men in general. So that's why, in my view, that's why at least I'm going to say some shit, right? I'm going to use my platform to actually speak out on men. Average good men. I'm going to use my platform to speak out on average good men. and in some cases, average good black men. Because like I said, you are a mirror to what I deem as a good average black man. But you know what? You don't get the respect from black women like I believe, you should, or other black men should deserve. Right? Especially from internet black women who say, there's no good men out there. But you know what? I do know one, and no woman is knocking down his door. So that's how I go about this. But that is my own view, and that's how I go about it. Now, let's move on to what I'm talking about tonight, where I say no one, right, can hold black women accountable. No one can show black women a different kind of ideology, right? Because again, neither black men like Kevin Samuels, nor black women like this woman I'm going to show. And she's been getting a lot of heat recently online, particularly on TikTok, right? Yes, I mean, I respect women. It's like holding women accountable is not a disrespect towards women. Okay? Holding people accountable for their words and action is not a disrespect towards women or towards people, right? I would hope, and this is why I like that my friend is on the show, because I would hope if I say any, oh wow, failed was a man, you're not gonna like my channel. But here's the thing where I hold people accountable, and I will hope that if you watch my shit, hold my words accountable to me, right? If I say something crazy and I can't prove it, or I can't really make it logically sounding, hold me accountable. I don't mind, right? But let's get started with this. Could you hear?
No, I can't hear it. Can you turn up a little bit?
Let me see. I don't know. Does it sound louder?
Yeah.
Modest in the way you dress, modest in the way you carry yourself. God forbid you don't smoke or drink. You have become public enemy number one. And honestly, as much as women don't like to admit it, anything that they feel like a man will like and another woman possess that they don't, they will try to villainize you. Women hate to see other women wanted in a way that's actually respectable. I find that.
Now let's be honest. Is she lying? There's so many comments made to women who decide to be more modest, dress more modest, act more modest. You get called a grandma with your style. You get called grandma with your attitude. You don't want to do certain things. It is very much like shame if you do not want to act a certain way, if you want to carry yourself with a certain level of class, dignity, and modesty, right? And there's this idea that, well, you're doing it for a man. It's because I can attract a man, right, and still be very modest, still be covered, still not have my whole body exposed, so not, disrespecting myself, and it be received from a man and be respected from a man, right? But I think we just get caught up in the thought process of you're supposed to be doing this, and if you don't do that, you think you're better. And it's like, no, I just don't like to do that. I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't drink or smoke. That's just not my thing. Never been, never will be. Right? But people will make you feel like, oh, who you think you are? You think you better because you don't want to do that? It's like, no, I'm good. But women will definitely make other women feel villainized or feel bad for wanting to be modest. And I don't like it. And I also don't like it. And I also just hate that that's where we are in today's society with women, against each other.
That's an ideology that I promote. Because this is the thing, right? Why a woman like this, and this is the thing, women are criticizing this, right? This type of woman, where here's a woman that is promoting modesty. This is where I say, right, where you were talking about before about the Bible and shit like that, where yes, you can turn to the Word of God after years, a lifetime of debauchery or shit like that. Okay, cool. But here's the thing where I said we're not stupid. We knew that, like, when we were 18, not to cheat on our partner. Yeah. We knew that at 18 to not have a child out of wedlock. Right? This is where I said that why I'm not complete, or I'm not like a Bible thumper or religious, because again, it's a cop-out. And I'm sorry, it's a cop-out for women, right? Especially women. And here's the thing, maybe you don't know, but why a lot of black men have stepped away from the church. Because a lot of women are using it as a cop-out. You haven't lived by the word of God, but now that your life, this is the problem, right? It's not that she found the word of God when she was 21. She found the word of God when she's 45. When, as women, I'm sorry, but as women age, they don't get the power of youth like they used to have. So they use the word of God to compensate for that power, to control or weaken men. Because you couldn't get men to now view you because of your beauty, your body. Now you get men to view you as holier than thou. But I'm showing this because this is the type of women that is getting hate from other women. So that's the thing where I'm talking about. But it's just an example where I continue to show a little bit more and more, and you will see the vitriol. This is why I'm showing this video, because this is the type of woman that is getting hate from other women of like skin color, of same colored skin.
Again, my husband, not your husband. There's a group of Black women on this app making videos about myself and my husband, insulting us, our looks, whatever. Cool. But when I see those videos or people share them with me, it makes me think about my students, right? It makes me think about conversations that I have.
Now here, Torch, I mean, I haven't looked at your channel, so I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but I think that's insane. Okay, here's my opinion. I just had to say this, right? Because in my opinion, I think it's reverse. Women have followed the church or the Bible to take away accountability, right? Because like what we were talking about, like a 45-year-old, now she's following the word of God to, I don't know, found salvation from her past, or to rectify the past mistakes of her consequences. That's how I see it. But I just wanted to really mention that. I think that's backwards, in my opinion.
Them about how they get upset with what their teacher says, and they think they can act out. They think they can curse the teacher out, right? So they'll get mad because they failed the class, but they never showed up to class, right? So you can be mad at her for failing you when you didn't do the work, right? You can't argue with that. And unfortunately, they do that, right? They don't like it, so they think they can lash out, curse people out, throw insults. So when I think about my students, it really makes me think about, again, who are their parents? Their parents are like the women who are making these videos. That is, a lot of them have those type of mothers because they're learning these behaviors. And that has always been my focus. We as women set the standard, right? We need to be the examples. And a lot of these kids only do what they see, only do what they're around. So when you get on this app and you make a think piece about my husband and how he looks, my husband, not your husband, my husband. Why does what my husband look like matter to you, right? And that's how backwards we are as women. You worry about how my husband looks, but you don't even eat. We don't care how he treats me, right? That's all. It's crazy. But again, thinking back to my students, I talk to them about this stuff. You may not always agree with.
And that's I'm gonna move on to the next one. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, right? Where I said, we were saying that before. Make your standards, right? Where it actually works, where it actually benefits your relationship. I'm going to show you the video, right, about what she's talking about. But here's the thing. Women are focusing superficially on the man's look, and yet not his character, how he treats you. This is what I said about you, right? How I know that you are a morally sound man, right? You have standards, you have morality, you have principles. It's how you treat a person, not about how you look and all that shit, okay? Because again, we forget that, you know what? It's character that can produce a long-term relationship.
Agreed.
But here's the thing where I don't think it's an echo chamber. And you know what? Here's the thing, right? Let's say this. The echo chamber that people think. Now, I'm not saying that maybe it seems like an echo chamber, but you have to also think, forget about it's an echo chamber or not, does it make sense? So, and I'm saying that, right? If I say you should save, then you say you should save. And then we have a whole bunch of people who say you should save your money. Yeah, it's an echo chamber, but debate it. Not about, how you feel. Debate about the logic. Is it terrible to save? Right? And here's the thing. Is it terrible to find a man, not based on his looks, but based on how he treats you? Debate that shit. Debate that ideology. Because here's the thing. Yes, it can be an echo chamber. But when you sit back as an adult and you dissect the words, not how you feel about the words, not how it's delivered, but about the words itself, okay? Because here's when people say echo chamber. It's not about the word. It's about how you feel. That's why it's the problem when it's an echo chamber, because it makes you feel good. So you surround yourself with like-minded people to enforce that feeling. But not, why wouldn't you want to, enforce that logic instead of that feeling? That's the thing where I think we are, honestly, that is a women's ideology. Okay? When you talk about echo chamber, when you talk about, yes, you're surrounded by, here's what I said, right? I've gone facts over feelings. I have lived my adult life, right, in recent years with that ideology. It's facts over feelings. Debate the things I said, not how I said it to you. Okay? So, again, we showed a little bit about her. Now we're going to show the result. And this is where I wanted you to get a little bit of gist of what type of person she is. Okay? That's why I showed you her. Now we will see the vitriol that this black women get from other black women. Right? Because, again, instead of supporting two things she's already said, right? Instead of supporting that, you attack her. So let's go. Let's do that.
Now, I've been seeing y'all talk about Miss I'm Just a Girl, and I've watched her content and I have my opinions, but she was just too irrelevant for me to even really comment on. But I was curious to know what her husband looked like, because for as hard as she be going on single women, I just wanted to know what Mr. I'm Just a Girl was giving. Let me tell y'all something. You know what, girl?
And I can tell you this, right? It's a good thing that you're not active on TikTok or social media.
Yeah.
It will change how you view women.
Yeah. So that'll do it. That'll be all right.
Shit. And I'm okay with it, girl. You know why? You better tell us, girl. You know what? You got it. You and your holy, and I do mean holy matrimony. Y'all got it. You know what, girl? Carry on. Nah.
And she's a big time creator. Okay? 600,000 followers. That's how you go about it. Now that's
ladies, it appears we have ourselves alive.
A forever single woman that has put down plenty of men. Right?
What, looking like Carl Thomas in your Abbey. I wish I never met face ass. Come to the front. It's your turn. Let's get into it. First of all, I said what I said with no wig on to begin with. And for you to be a grown-ass man spelling shit like that, I know your teachers hated you in school. Nonetheless, when it comes to Miss I'm Just a Girl, here's the issue. If you want to try to educate single black women on things you've learned as a married woman, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. The issue lies when you attempt to talk down to single black women as a married black woman in a way of shaming them for being single. You see, once you do that, I begin to expect certain things out of you and your marriage, okay? Once you start shaming and talking down to single women about being single, I'm going to expect that your marriage is perfect and you're married to a stud of a husband. You start talking that cash kind of shit, and I'm going to expect that your husband's paying all the bills and he is giving every bit of Dapper Dan, okay? But for you to be talking that cash kind of shit, and you married to Patchy the Pirate, and you think I ain't got nothing to say? Girl, please, you don't get to shame and talk down to single women for being single when you're married somebody I have to brace myself to look at. That's just not how this is going to fly over here. I don't think so. So if you can talk shit about single women, I can talk shit about your patchy ass husband. Period, point blank. And if you don't want folks talking about your husband, well, then you should have been talking shit to begin with. That's how I see it. I've seen enough of her content to know that she is condescending and rude and is trying to hide that rudeness behind just being real and honest. There's nothing real or honest about shaming women for being who they are and you saying that that's not enough to get them a husband. Girl, if that's the kind of husband that's going to get them, I think they're all right. So, Mr. 90s R&B cover, who's probably single yourself, how's about you pull up out of Miss I'm Just a Girl's ass crack and get on about your business, okay?
You know, I've said my things, right? I could say plenty, but here's the thing where this is a thing where this is a creator that has put down men and support the toxic ideology that women have right now on the internet, right? And then I showed that's why I led with examples of how her aura, the type of person, the type of message she puts out. That's why I put out with that. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying that it's 100%. That's all her messages. No, but here's the thing: where instead of you saying what she said was wrong, and this is what the problem, right? Instead of you debating, conversating about what she said is wrong or right, go for how I feel. It's condescending. Really? Is it? No, I don't think so. Right? Because you said it's this is a problem with I'm sorry with, and I've dealt with this, right? Instead of because you think I said things loud, it's being rude, right? If you think I said something soft or fast or whatever, it's like this is a thing where no, what did I say, right? Use the words I said and counteract the words, not how you think I said it, not how you heard it, and that's the problem, right? And this is the thing where nothing she said, right, is about the words she said. This is how she felt from the words she said. And here's the thing. It's like you complain about throughout her thing is because this man is not good looking to you. That's goes back to that shit like there, right? And this is why I said that 40-year-old woman will have the problem she has, right? Because again, at 45, most likely, I said women will have plenty of options. But at 45, it's most likely the men you don't find attractive is why you can't get any man or a man that you want, right? It's because of this 3 thinking that, because it's like, who do you think you are to think that, okay, because a man is not attractive, he's not worth your time. When he would treat you, this is the big problem where here's the other woman that lives by example where, you know what, it's not, attraction is nice, right? I'm fine with attraction, but then I live by, you know what, how he treats me, how he treats his kids, how he treats our kids. That's more important than he needs to look like Idris Elba, right? That's the thing where I think, honestly, a lot of women are having problems. Because here's the thing. A lot of those good-looking men, well, they are trouble. Because, again, they get a lot of women because of their good looks. And then you complain why these men are cheaters, liars, abusers. Yet, all you cared about was his looks and charms, not his personality. Not how he actually, his principles, how he treats women. So
you're saying they're attracted to the wrong thing.
Yeah, things that don't really sustain relationships. And yet you have an example of, honestly, a quality black woman that is trying to impart kind of a different type of ideology. And then, boom, she's getting hate online by women like this.
Yes, that's my buddy Zay next to me. There is someone else don't care. It's all good. He's sleeping. He's not paying me no mind.
What do you
I mean, I haven't watched either of their content very much. So
well, that's why this isn't
just watch. But yeah, if she's delivering, if she's speaking on the idea that women should be more modest and that you can have more success in a relationship by going about a certain way, and yeah, it looked like the second woman in the video, she didn't like the delivery, and went for some personal attacks. I get it because she felt that she was being talked down to. She felt offended by it. But I hear what you're saying. Like, talk about what she said, and whether it holds merit, and worry less about how it was delivered.
Here's the thing, right? How you see about it. Don't you think this is an attack against men like you?
The way she was talking about that lady's husband, you mean?
Yes. This is the thing where a problem, like, instead of focus on good quality, this is the problem, right? We see in our own comment, right? Our own comic sections about that viewpoint of black men, right? That's the thing where there are, like I said, I think there are plenty of good black men. I think that's the majority, but that's the problem where, because these black men aren't conventionally attractive, so these men are invisible. They're not viewed by society at large.
It's like
Right?
they're taken out of the equation, and then
Yes, and they're already put down. You don't even know this man's personality.
No.
Yeah, just by his looks, he's already put down. He's already ridiculed, right?
Yeah.
He's already like downplayed as less of a man. So that's what I'm saying. Where like I was saying, like, good thing that you're not active online, because then this would change. Because how just a little bit of this does not affect your mindset.
I mean, it makes me sad to hear her talk that way, about a black man. I think it's upsetting that he's catching shots because his wife made a video. Like, that sucks. But all right, so I'm not active online very much, right? I glance, but in my real life, I feel like most of the women I know, black women I know, aren't like that. So I guess that's why my viewpoint is she's not the majority. I'm not saying I haven't met her and women like her, but I don't think she's the majority. But I hear she's got a platform. I get what you're saying. She's got a platform. She can increase the number of women who think the way she does.
I mean, like I said, right? I said this in the beginning. You probably didn't get it. Black men, black women, they marry each other. They're not marrying outside of the race by anything substantial. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's the danger, right? Yes, black men and black women, they marry each other at a higher rate than marrying outside of marriage, outside of the race, right? But here's the thing, they are marrying less, right? And here's the thing, where there is a path, a dangerous path, where this is the ideology that is growing. And like I said in the beginning, right? The name of the stream, the title of the stream is clickbaity, but it's a dangerous path that I see that can and probably is going towards, right? Because this is the active ideology. And this is in general, right? Women, right? Not just black women. Hate towards men is growing. Women's hate towards men is growing, no matter if you're Asian, because I did these videos on Asian, right? Where Asian women are saying, I don't want to date Asian men because they're like my brother. Really? They're not. It's like absolutely ridiculous concept. So I've done other lives talking about like Asian women, talking about other women. So really that hate, right, is growing because, again, like I said, our lives are getting more and more intertwined, right, with, social media, where this is how our mindset is slowly deteriorating. Plus the next generation, this is the thing where honestly the hate towards men is growing, right? And I have plenty of videos of women hating on men, women saying a lot of stuff. So I don't want to make like that, but I'm not saying that anyone is not race loyal, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a dangerous path. Okay, this is a dangerous path, and this is the destruction of communities, right? And I know plenty of people are seeing it, right, where there's not much of community anymore. For Asian communities, it's slowly deteriorating. For black communities, in my opinion, it's almost gone. So that's how I see it, but I don't know. What do you think?
I see your point about people having a platform and promoting, and not necessarily promoting a healthy message, and that hurting, that can hurt anybody's culture, right? It can hurt the black culture, it can hurt Asian culture. It can hurt white culture. Uh, they have their own problems too. But yeah, I still don't think that it's the majority of women are men are people. But I get how loud voices can shape uh
I
the
mean,
coming
like I said, I
generation.
mean, it's. I'm not
Okay.
saying that this is the majority.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is a dangerous path, right? But let's continue.
Just a Girl in her content is proof that for a lot of women who are married, marriage for a lot of women is just the level of superiority or having a superiority complex because they're actually misogynists. A lot of women do not realize that going into a marriage inherently your chances of becoming a misogynist increase. The reason being is because marriage is not only a law institution, but it's based in religion. Everything regarding religion is it's leaning into misogyny because you have to abide by a man. The man has to make the rules, and you have to follow them. You don't get any autonomy over your body. Your whole life is given upon to a man, and that's why so many men win when it comes to marriages. That's why they thrive when they're in a marriage because the only way that they can thrive is through the act of misogyny. And I think that on a subconscious level, Just a Girl knows that. She understands that she has had to tear herself down as a woman to stay in a marriage. That is why she is tearing down women who are not married.
Now, I just again, this is a 6-minute video. I'm not going to play the whole thing because again, it's more proving my point in the sense that this is the danger, right? This is the path because you heard what she's saying. The idiocy, the delusion, the things she said, right? I mean, if you're like, this is the thing, right? Defend it. Defend the thing she said.
I don't know about defending it, but I can say that there are so many levels to that discussion, to what she's talking about. I think it's sad that she and a lot of women, especially in our generation, view marriage that way.
But that's what I'm saying, right? This is how the destruction is happening. What I'm saying, why I'm saying that this is the path. I'm not saying this is the majority. I'm saying this is the chink in the armor. And
I don't think it's entirely her fault. I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
saying
entirely.
this. I'm saying the other women, right? Large platforms. These women, right? Large platforms is trickling away to other women. I.e., maybe a woman like this, maybe another woman, maybe a woman that you don't know yet, but maybe cross her path. These are the thing, right? Where it trickling out the ideology. Because in our own comment section, right? DJ is no different than any of these women, right? That's what I'm saying. Where this is the dangerous path. This is the destruction of the community. Because now look at this, right? A black woman viewing marriage as a hate towards other black women. So really, now you think about this, black men that see that, I want to marry, i.e. maybe you. But then now you see that you're surrounded where women think that if you marrying her, you are hating on women. So really now you think about, like, I'm not saying you, but maybe men will slowly like, you know what? If black women view that marriage is a hate towards black women, you know what? Maybe I should marry outside my race, right? It's people don't never think that there's consequences. There's like little butterfly effects, right? That's the thing where I'm talking about, where, like I'm saying, social media is becoming bigger and bigger in all of our lives. And here's, like I said, why I showed this woman. And I'm going to show more, where it more reinforces what I'm talking about.
So I don't know. I think what she was talking about, that's a really complex conversation. because I mean, I don't feel that way about the institution of marriage, but historically, all right. So first of all, no woman ever has to get married if they don't want to, right?
I agree.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be like this goal or bar or standard that women need to reach to be married. I don't think that's you get married if that's the decision you want to make in your life, if that's how you want to live your life, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you're higher or better than anybody else. But historically, um and but historically marriage has been viewed that way, religiously and legally, and in our society, like in the past it's been instead of like now we've swung the whole opposite way, right? We see a lot more career women, a lot more women want to be independent, want to be single, want to be by themselves, when years ago it was like, hey, how are you in your early 20s and you're not married yet? Like, what's going on? You need to hurry up and find a man. And that wasn't right either. So now there's so many factors involved in her
And
viewpoint that marriage is
yeah,
just.
but here's the thing also, right? I don't tell no woman to get married. I don't tell any woman to do what she doesn't want to do. What I would do, like I said, I'm not hating on women. I'm holding them accountable. So let's say, example, a woman like this. Fine. If you think marriage is so disgusting, great. Do not complain about a man not committing, right? Do not complain about men cheat. Do not complain about no man wants to, men are being with you for years but don't propose. Don't complain. That's the thing. That's the thing we see, right? That's the problem I'm talking about, where, fine, no, you are an adult. Live the life that you want to live. Yet, when you live the life you want to live, which this is where I'm saying where I hold women accountable. When you live the life you want to live, but you don't get the results that you want, there's no one to blame but yourself. When you live the life where you think marriage is misogyny, and yet you complain that men don't commit to you, men don't propose to you, men, you're not getting married, when you complain about that shit, well, that's the thing where I talk about. But let's continue.
I will never feel guilty about not having a whole face. I just won't. I'm sorry. I've been with my husband since I was 18 years old, right? I'm 35 years old. This woman left that comment saying I took my first and only option. And I guess it's supposed to be shade or a diss. It's like, okay. Like, was I supposed to sleep around with a bunch of men? Was I supposed to waste my time with a bunch of men if I felt like I chose the right one for me? Like, I'm not going to feel guilty about that. And I feel like women will try to do that to other women and say, well, you don't know. You with the first option. You can get it right the first time. You know that, right? You don't have to make all the mistakes. There are some things you will mess up a couple times. There are other things you can do it the first time and it works. But a lot of y'all don't know nothing about that. And a lot of y'all will try to make other women feel bad because they did get chosen the first time. They didn't have to have a whole phase. They don't have to live in regret from their past decisions. I don't have to have a bunch of ex-boyfriends. I don't have that story. And I'm not going to feel guilty about that. And nobody should feel guilty about not having a bunch of men in their lives and having a bunch of men in their phone. I don't have that. So I'm very happy with the choice that I made, right? But please don't confuse it. If I was not married, y'all, you think I would have any problem getting a man? Like, come on. I will never feel guilty about not having a whole phase.
DJ, what red pill shit am I saying? What red pill am I saying? Holding women accountable is red pill, or is it just life? Right? Promoting women to not gain trust. Like the other woman that laughed at this woman, right? That ridiculed the looks of her man. Which one did you think is better for women, for the black community? Where a woman didn't gain trauma in life by being with a whole lot of bad men. Right? Instead of she found the best man for her, a man that loved her, a man that treated her well. Instead of other women promoting being single. Yet this is the thing. You're not being single and not dealing with men. No, you're being single and dealing with men. Right? Gaining body count. This is the thing where I think it's really ugly that people think that these red pill talking points is what? Terrible to say that you shouldn't rack up a body count. You should get with a man that treats you well, that has principles, that wants to marry you, that wants to be a good father. That's the insanity. How about, right? This is the problem we see in the community, right? Of anything, of human being community, where you only talk about how you feel. Please tell me what is the problem with the words, right? What is the problem with the subject? Because here's the thing why I show you this one, because you can tell me, what do you like more? What she said or what the other women's have said, right? Because you are a man. This is your different perspective. You tell me, because you're not in no red pill, manosphere, all this shit community, right? You are the most man that's outside of this sphere of influence, right? But you are a man, but you tell me, what do you think?
So, so on its surface, right? Dan, what you're saying about holding women and people accountable for their own actions, all people should be held accountable for their own actions and should be willing to be held accountable. If I made choices in my life that led me to where I am now, and I'm complaining about where I am now, I can do things to change that, but I also have to accept that I got myself here, right? And so I don't think it's anything wrong. In fact, I think it's respectful to all humans to hold them accountable for their actions. But like, you're a whole human being. I respect you as a human being. You made your own choices. You have to accept the results of your choices. So I get that. I do think that a lot of the terms, because this is a thing that happens, this is about, I don't want to make this conversation all about race, but I understand it from that point of view. Sometimes people use certain terms that sound good. I don't think you're doing this. This is not what you're doing. But I think a lot of people use certain terms that sound reasonable, and they're really like a shade for their racist or misogynist or whatever viewpoints. You know what I mean? So you might, with good intention, talk about women should be held accountable for their actions. That a high body count isn't healthy for any person. It doesn't. You shouldn't get points for being that way. There are other men who will use those terms as a way of calling a woman disrespectfully a slut or a whore or worthless. You know what I mean? And try to shade it with that same type of language. So I think that's why DJ might be upset or take a little bit of offense to your language. But I also know that your intentions and the way that you're speaking is.
But here's the thing, right? I've said this before. Debate the conversation, not how you feel, right? I'm not saying that DJ is an avid follower, because probably not. But I've said this countless times before. Body count is terrible for men and women, right? Trauma dealing with a lot of people is not good regardless. The problem if you watch my content is that women, right, don't have the same preferences as men, right? I said this, trauma, which i.e., dealing with a lot of people, i.e., having a high body count, is not good for many people. It's not good for anybody, right? But the problem is that men don't value experience in women, while women value experience in men. But that's just my my thought, because I've gone in deeper in other conversations. I don't want to make that completely this, but like I said, DJ, you want to really dig in deeper into my shit? That's where I'm talking about other stuff. But again, you just joined tonight, so really you may not know much about it. Yeah, if you think so, you think so, but I don't care. Now let's continue on with this.
Y'all, I'm just a girl lady who's finally getting the backlash that she needs, because she really came on this app trying to call Lizzo all of us like big backs when her fucking husband is a big back himself. He is literally shaped like a compressed Shetland pony. He is 2 feet tall. And you have the nerve to get on this app and talk about other people being big back, and your man is leading the fucking community in it. Like, he has a big shaped like a Shetland pony, literally shaped like a Shetland pony, getting on this internet talking about other women being built bad, like Lizzo and such. How she, y'all.
Why I showed that, right?
Mhm.
Is that, let's say this. I didn't see the video of her maybe say something about Lizzo, but here's the thing. This is the problem with a lot of women. I've had videos of women saying Lizzo is beautiful. Lizzo is a 10. And I have videos of men saying, "Oh, you look like Lizzo," and they find that as a disrespect. Women, right? How much? I guarantee you, if you go to any woman, say you look just like Lizzo, you think they will find that as a compliment? Come on.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
don't know. I think Lizzo's
you know.
but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. They're like, what are you talking about? That? Yeah.
It's two different perspectives, right? In the sense that men view looks differently than women, and they should, because again, men aren't looking for providers, right? Men are like, it's how you treat them and how you look, honestly. And here's the thing where women lie to themselves. I'm not saying Lizzo is like a 1, but then don't prop her up to being anything special. She, at best, she's average at best, right? So that's why I put this in where, yeah, she criticized Lizzo because, again, women prop her up as to being something special. Yet if men say that you look like Lizzo, they will take it as a slight, right? So really, there's no argument that. And this is the thing where.
That's funny. I'm gonna bring that to some of my friends. I gotta
please. Your parents, right? Ask them. What you do is like, what would you rank Lizzo, right? Ask the woman, what would you rank Lizzo? If they say a 10 or like a 9, 8, whatever, okay. Would you feel slight if any man come up to you and you said you look like Lizzo? So I did that. But here's the thing where, again, women should value something different. It's how he treats her. Because again, you will get the good-looking man. Women will, even the big women, will get the good-looking man. But would that good-looking man treat you right? Will he commit to you? No, most likely not. So really, it's about personality. So that's how I view it. But I showed that video just because a little bit where, yeah, even if she says something about black women, well, it's it's the being more realistic.
So is the common perception of I'm just a girl that she's mean or misogynist or?
Well, I'll show you a couple of videos already. That's why I intersperse some of her videos so you get a perspective, right? Yeah, you said you don't really know her, but again, the videos I'm sending you, right, I'm showing you, is a perspective. So if you view that, if you say, oh my God, I see 2 videos of her, she's a misogynist. Okay, then you tell me, right? That's why I'm going, like, this is the problem with a lot of women. Back it up, right? Talk about the words, not how you feel. I'm sorry, DJ, you talk about how you feel. You're not talking about any of the words.
Paying for yourself in your 20s will affect you in your 40s, right? So just going to ask this question. What is doing what you want in your 20s? How does it correlate to getting a man in your 40s, right? So in today's society, amongst us as Black women, right, there's a lot of promotion and content and just influence around getting the bag and being a sugar baby and just living your life, which is associated with men, right? And unfortunately, we have come to a place where we are too comfortable with embarrassing ourselves, degrading ourselves, and then using the excuse that I was just young, right? I was young. I was 25, 26.
I'm the prize. This is what would I say this, right? I want to say this is a feminist or anti-feminist chat, right? I would say this is a vitriol against holding women accountable. In this case, Black women accountable, right? You cannot hold Black women accountable. You're not allowed to. You can prop up their feelings, but you can't hold them accountable.
Young. But people have already watched.
Here's the thing, right? This is a Red Pill channel. If you think so, you think so, right? I'm not saying this is. I say this is a channel that I support. I'm talking about the struggles of men, and I support good average men. But it is what it is. If you think so, I'm not here to change people's mind, but I'm here to speak mine.
Question: you have created this narrative about yourself, so you may want to be single at that time, which is fine. But how you're moving, you think it's going to be okay and it's going to be over once you're done, but it's an image now. It is who people perceive you to be. So when it comes down to dating and you get to a certain age and you decide I want to settle down and find a man that I want of my dreams, he now is going to say, look at your past. Look at how you were moving back then. I don't want to be with a woman who has his reputation. And it don't even have to be solely about sleeping around. It could just be your behavior. If you're fighting, if you're just negative, if you sit on social media and you degrade yourself from telling your most intimate areas of your life, it is twerking your behind online, like that stuff catches up. And I think we just have to realize that is always what I'm focused on. When you are in your younger years, what you do at that time can influence how the years to come will look, especially when it comes to dating a man. And again, keyword, we want a certain type of man. We want a man who has money, who has status, who has this, who has that. And you have to ask yourself, do I align with that? Because a man who has status and who's a high value man or whatever you might want, he cares about not just who you are today, but who you've always been. People can change, don't get me wrong. But once the image is out there, once people have this idea about you, you can't change it. So be mindful when you're in your 20s, how you move out.
Again, I'm dispersing. If you have anything to say, you could say it. I'm just trying to give a view of what type of person she is.
Okay.
So,
Not your husband. There's a group of Black women on this app making videos about myself and my husband and so our looks, whatever. Cool. But when I see those videos,
it's not the first time that I'm speaking on I'm Just a Girl or her videos, but people wanted to know my take because she's been going all over the place. People are talking about her nonstop. So whatever, let's do it. But also, I'm not feeling my best because the curse of Eve is currently plaguing me. So sorry. To begin, I don't want to insult I'm Just a Girl's character because by the looks of it, it seems like she's actually passionate about something positive. She has a nonprofit organization that's currently dedicated to help shape young girls. And I believe it's young Black girls too, to help them make better decisions, to have a better future and all these things. And I will never oppose that. Nonprofits are not easy work, so I respect anybody who's putting that kind of time and determination into something that they're passionate about. The main thing I don't really like about I'm Just a Girl's content and her platform is how she chooses to present information. This is my problem when it comes to her platform, the way she decides to present information, right? Because I do think between her videos, you'll find layers of good advice for young women to take, but because of how she presents the information, which is constantly biased and highly negative towards Black women, it'll be hard for a lot of young women to sit down and try to listen to her and what she's saying. Look, I love marriage. I love what it stands for religiously, like the divine unification of two people, romantic love in the hands of God, all that. I love marriage from a financial standpoint because double income, shared assets, of course. And I think it's also one of the most logical things we should do when it comes to our society for a variety of reasons. And of course, it has its cons, but I think there's way more pros in marriage than being a baby mama. I actually really despise baby mama culture. However, that's my bias. That's Christina's thing. Christina does not like that. And I see there's been a lot of media about baby mama culture is becoming more normalized in the Black community. And maybe I want to make a video talking about that and talking about the harmful things that it can do, the consequences of that. I'm not going to start that video by blaming or shaming baby mothers. That's not my goal here. Because if she's a coach trying to teach people how to better themselves in their lives, her goal would be how to make young girls who are not pregnant or baby mothers not become baby mothers, or make baby mothers engage in future relationships that'll make them wives. And all of that can be done without shaming Black women, which is my biggest pet peeve with her, because it seems that she just thrives in negativity and the negative.
Here's the thing, right? This is a long video. I'm trying to make things as short as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. In the sense that for years now, right? In recent years, we have taken away shame. We have taken away shame, right?
Okay.
And baby mama culture has become so big. Do you even hear people shaming women in nowadays culture? I don't.
Well, how should you be shaming them? Like what? I mean, would it be cool to see a woman, see a single mother walking down the street with her child and be like, ugh, look at her?
Well, I mean, you don't know that, right? But I'm saying like this, right? If you see it online, this is the thing where this is a problem where, let's say this, back in the old time, right? It's not like it's perfect, but you know it's a shame. There's shame. There's a negative connotation, a clear, shameful negative connotation for divorcing. Okay, there's a clear negative connotation for divorcing, so people don't do it, or it's rare. It's only extreme circumstances. You are forced to actually work on your marriage, right? And just like what I said, it's a shame to be a baby mama. So you are forced to pick the best guy, the right guy, or else people will look down on it. You won't have an easy time going into the next relationship. You won't have an easy time finding a good man because it's shameful. It's a thing. Here's the thing. Fine. You want to take out, but this is the thing. You want to take away shame for it. You want to be nice. You want to have a good, I don't know, positive message. Cool. But we've been having that for the last few years, for the last maybe couple decades. There is no shame. There is no, because women's voice is the one that's heard, which is fine, right? Society is what it is, right? Women's voices are more louder than men. So there is really no shame because now women want to support women's action in whatever they do, bad or not, right? They only want to be the PC police. They want to be nice, right? They want to be participation awards. They want to make you feel good, even though they say like it's about what you say, not what you said, right? So this is the thing where I don't really care if DJ follows me or not because how he views Kevin Samuels. Because again, you cannot say what he said. You can only say how you feel of what he said. And this is why I stopped this where she's talking about it, where this is the problem. Women like this, where you want to be soft, right? You're the one who called Lizzo's a 10. You want to, how can you be positive, right? About baby mama culture. Make it sound nice. Make it not be shameful. You can't, right? So what do you?
No, I'll push back. I'll push back on it. So probably the lack of embarrassment or I want to say shame. I can't. What's the word? The lack of controversy or there's another word I'm looking for. I can't find it. But the reason it doesn't it's not so embarrassing now to be maybe a single mother is because we went too far trying to make it embarrassing and shameful then. And my point is, it does matter how you deliver a message. Maybe it's not the primary thing. I don't disagree with you when you say, "Hey, look, you should be able to look past the way a message is delivered and think and discuss what the actual message is." That's important. You don't want to miss the point because you didn't like the delivery. But I mean, if we're going to get spiritual, even the Bible talks about delivering about seasoning your words with salt, or in other words, like Jesus could do that, can make them palatable. Because if you want people to be receptive to your message, you have to take into account how they feel. Because what will happen is, and maybe a little bit of this is happening to Just a Girl, right? She's constantly delivering this message. She's making this point, and she's right, but after a while, you're tired of hearing it. There's no counterbalance to it. If you, for instance, if I had to, they teach us this when we criticize like artwork or work. Like if I'm reading somebody else's short story, grading their paper, I could just write all the things that they did wrong and give it back to them and say, fix that. They'd be real discouraged though. They might not continue to try. They might give up. Or I could say, hey, here's what I liked about what you did. Here's what I think you can improve on. And here's some encouragement. Don't give up. Now they're more likely to fix the problem. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't feel terrible about it. If I spend enough time shaming somebody for something, I think this is what has literally happened to our culture, right? If I spend enough time shaming somebody on something to keep them from doing it, somebody's going to stand up and say, and rebel. I don't think it's shameful. I'm tired of being talked down to like this. So I'm going to go ahead and live in this, and I'm going to encourage others to do it the same. So now you're getting an equal opposite reaction. I think there's a balance in there somewhere, right?
No.
Like I I may not approve of a woman having had children out of wedlock, but I should not teach her children to disrespect her because of it. Right? So there's a balance that needs to be found there. Be like, hey, you have a good mother who's taking good care of you, but she made some poor decisions, and I don't want you to repeat those decisions because she had a hard way because of it, and you don't want to have that same difficulty, right? So maybe not to the extent that some people maybe it doesn't matter to a high extent, but it does matter how you deliver a message, because if you deliver a message one way, somebody may be telling me the truth, but if I don't like the way they're saying it, I might just because of my ego, I might not listen to it. And I guess that's my fault, but if
No,
they
I mean,
did it a different way, it could be more effective.
Here's the thing, right? This is two things, right? I agree. You're right. Right. I'm not saying that you're wrong, which is why I love you, why I love talking to you in this thing. But here's the thing, right? The problem, I don't say that you're wrong, is that yes, it's also how you feel, right? It is like if you can touch it, say it in a way that, you know what, it doesn't anger someone or whatever, and still get the message across. Yes, that's great. But here's the also problem with that, is that you can't predict someone's feelings, right? You can't predict it, where, you know what, if you could say something, right, but yet they can still find triggering words or triggering, because I've done it where you could say that thank you, but yet you could scream it and they be like, I said thank you, but yet because they perceive a scream as rude or whatever, boom, it's like I don't want to hear. So it is. I do understand, right? Yes, I'm not. For me, I'm terrible at public speaking. I'm not charismatic. I'm not charming. Any of that stuff. So really, for me, why I'm more focused on bluntness or straightforward or whatever, it's the message, not how it's perceived or whatever, because it fits with my personality. But I don't disagree with, yes, if there's a charming or if there's a man that's more charming or whatever, they can say the same thing and doesn't trigger people. That's cool. I don't blame that. I'm more seeing that, you know what? When you deal with people's emotions, it's unpredictable. The most unpredictable part of human beings is their emotions. So that's the thing where I see that's the dangerous, tricky part, right? Why I can't do it. I'm telling you this, right? I can't do it. I can't how to traverse your emotions because I don't know how, right? Yeah. If I did, I wouldn't know how to manipulate women long ago, right? Because that's the thing. That's the thing. Honestly, you wonder why the players, the bad boys, the Chaz, the Tyrones, the Pookies, and the Ray Rays, why do they get so many women? Why do they have an easy time with women? They know how to manipulate, know how to charm women's emotions. I don't. I don't know how to do that. I'll be lucky, right? This is the thing where the women that I've dealt with, most of them went after me, right? Most of them talk to me, and I just open up and talk to them.
Okay.
So this is the thing where, yes, I get it, right? If you could say the same words in a way that, you know what, it will resonate with people, it will be a good thing. But here's the thing where shit like that has gotten us Derek Jackson, and we've talked about that in the past, right? That's the thing where, yo, Blue, thank you for stopping by. That's the problem we have, right? Because yes, is it good if you can talk to women that will make them reciprocal to the words? Yes, but honestly, with human mindset, if you talk about baby mamas, I don't think any woman's going to be reciprocal to it, right? If you talk about women to, lower their body count, control their body count, don't have sex with bad men, it's like they're gonna, I do what I want to do, right? Don't criticize being single, i.e. the last woman, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, right? Well, I showed you clips of that other woman. Did you find her triggering? Right? Because here's the thing why I'm glad that I have you on the panel to show you how you think, right? Mm-hmm. How the words you say, because the words you say is opposite to me, right? That's not how I went about it. But that's why I showed you clips of the women. I'm not talking out, it's not coming out of my mouth. so you could like maybe get a false impression of her. You see things out of her mouth. So that's why I perceive as a woman, she's mile apart from Kevin Samuels, right? Miles apart. She says it in what I would think is a way that would be reciprocal to women in a softer tone, in a sensitive. It's like that instead of being blunt, like the Kevin Samuels, right? I'm gonna say you straight up, right? You are Lizzo. You are 3. You are 2. Straight up to your face. Or instead of, you know what, maybe you should go exercise, change, and maybe you'll get the man you want. It's like, no, I'll be blunt to your face. But that's why I showed you, you know, how she said things.
Yeah, I hear you. And it doesn't sound like she's I mean, from what I've seen, it doesn't sound like she's trying to be, you know, triggering or disrespectful. But and you're right, it's not our responsibility to coddle to everyone's emotions. But I mean, but I will say in general, you treat people the way you want to be treated. So
and that's the thing, right? I mean, to be honest, I'd rather you be blunt than be soft with me. So that's how I go about it. If you're not reciprocal to that message, cool. It is what it is. But I just think that for you to, you know, hate the person because your feelings are hurt by the message instead of, you know what, debate the words. Because honestly, just like DJ, I mean, like the shit he said, like really nothing I've said, the words I said, just label things that what you perceive, but not counter what I said. It's always that's the thing where honestly, when you cater to feelings instead of logic, that's what I'm building my platform on, right? I'm not going to cater to your feelings. And you know what? To be honest, that's why I love it when you're on. You will cater to the feelings. Right? That's the thing.
Your emotional translator.
That's why I see that where, you know, you will cater to the feelings. So, you know, I that's why I wanted to a little bit different where, you know, that's how I see it. But let's continue a little bit more.
Try to teach a grown woman how to actually apologize. Like I literally watched 4 grown men try to teach a grown woman how to actually apologize. Like, that was insane. Like, literally going step by step of this is how you say I'm sorry. This is how you take accountability. This is how you say you are wrong. But then y'all wonder why I talk about this stuff. Y'all wonder why I say what I say. The go-to is you're obsessed with single women. You're obsessed with single women. No, I'm obsessed with women making better choices and being aware of the consequences to their actions. I'm obsessed with young girls having a better influence in front of them. I'm obsessed with better in my community. I'm obsessed with women taking accountability. You can even say sorry. You can even say, I was wrong. That's a problem. 4 grown.
Let me say this. Well, you know what? I'll let her finish.
Man telling a grown woman who also said that she was a mother. So if you can even take accountability for your own actions, what can you teach your child? Honestly, what can you teach your child? And the sad part is, the claim that she was making about a black man is what black women do all the time to black men. You will say something that you first of all don't know to be true, just make up lies, and what you say out your mouth can destroy someone. And y'all, it's just sad. I was just bummed like this woman cannot say I'm wrong. Like they literally, like it was like teaching a lesson on class. Like I was. So when y'all wonder why I do what I do, why I care so much, that was an example of this is the reason why I do what I do. Because you can't even say you're wrong.
This is what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
My last girlfriend, right? To my face, she said, I'm never wrong. To my face, like I'm never wrong. I don't apologize because I'm never wrong.
Oh wow.
And this is a thing where I honestly believe, I don't know about you, right? We may live different experiences, but I've experienced that with a lot of black women. And I see examples of that, at least on social media. That's why I'm not saying that this is indicative of the world. No, but I'm saying that this is happening, right? This is happening, and I have experienced this, right? And again, I don't like. This is the thing where I see that this is not a red pill channel, right? But people could, because I don't know what red pill channel is letting a black woman speak, right? Showing a black woman's viewpoint. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they are, right? But honestly, I'm not seeing that. Okay, I'm not seeing that. And here's the thing where I've told you this before. I'm not talking things out of hate towards any woman, let alone black women, because honestly, I love black women. I do, right? I mean, like, I want to make a series on my journey of dating black women, right? Because I think it's enlightening and whatever. But I love black women. But the thing is that how I don't love it is how some, maybe in my controversial opinion, majority, treat men, okay? And then in more clearer terms, treat black men, right? Because again, even in our comment section, we see how people view black men, right? How I said, I think most black men are good, but then we have social media, even in my comment section, most black men aren't, right? And that's the danger I'm saying, right? Where I'm promoting something good. I'm not saying that women are terrible. I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying, you know what? There are good people. There are good black men. Sadly, you're not choosing it. Okay? But that's where I want to change perception. Where I'm not promoting, oh, men need high body counts. Men need 50 women. No, I'm not saying that. Right? I'm saying they're good men. Right? The engineers, the pet boy workers, the garbage man, the blue collar men, average men. I'm saying I'm different. I'm not talking about high value men, because those men I don't know. Those men I'm not even in, right? So I don't know those men. I talk about average good men, morally sound men, right? That's who I'm talking about, right? I've always stand 10 toes down on the shit I've said, right? Because why? If you can say, hold me accountable for the shit I say, please, right? If I say anything crazy, go ahead. But I doubt I've never had anyone do it, right? People attack me on my looks. People attack me on how they feel about my words. Never has anyone really attacked me on the things I've said. Clarify that shit, right? And this is where I show this one. Here's a woman, right? She talks shit by softly. Right? I'd rather go for Kevin Samuels, the blunt. Like, I'd rather like a sharp blade than a club, a dog club, right? Just get that wound in there, right? That's why, honestly, why I say we need to bring back shame. Because again, I see the world without shame, and I don't like it. So that's how I view. But like I said, this is what I'm saying, where I've dealt with black women where they don't see no wrong in the actions they make. So they lack accountability, and they don't view consequences to their actions. I said this, right? You don't like her words? Cool. But like I said to you before, right? You don't like a married woman supporting, helping, advising you on, you know what, a certain kind of path? Cool. But then when a woman said for you to do a certain path that would change your life, yet you don't do it. Yet you complain about, I'm with cheaters, liars, men that has many baby mamas, men that uses me, men that would abuse me, men that all this shit. And yet, when a woman, right? Because again, you're with those terrible men, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, listening to the women that, oh, don't complain about single women. Okay, fine. Yet you complain about those men. And then you don't realize that, you know what? It's your own actions, right? That gives you the consequences of you getting these men. Listening to the women that promote singlehood. While on the flip side, you hear this woman, right? Whose life that she's, trying to support young black women, trying to educate black women where, you know what? You do not have to, right, be 45 looking for a good man. No, you can be, as she said, 18, focusing on a man's character, personality, and finding that man, a good man at that early age, and not gaining that trauma. This is why I said, right? Why I said in the Kendra G reaction, right? The difference, right? 18, finding a good man, focusing on a good man. She's 35, living years with one good man, right? That's the difference where at 45, she's still looking for a man. And now she wants a good man when she could have found a good man before. That's the problem where that's why I wanted to show you where hopefully, you know what, I can show you the differences, right? A mindset where how I view it now, where you see how this is doing where one creator, right? The other creator that laughed at this woman's husband, 600,000 subscribers. Her, maybe 5, maybe 50,000.
Okay. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, I hear you as a, like, you said a lot, but you're right about, I mean, delivering a message. There's a lot of responsibility involved in delivering a message. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Like that somebody you can influence a lot of people with your own thoughts, and it can be for better or worse. I think there's a balance to be found, because I don't think there's anything wrong with being single, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being married.
I don't.
And I personally don't think there's much wrong with making mistakes when you're younger. That's when you're supposed to make mistakes and learn from them when you get older.
Wait, 2 things you said, I agree. I don't think it's wrong too. I only think it's wrong when you complain. Remember what I said to you before, right?
Yeah.
Right here. You can live whatever life you want. You can be a homeless bum for all I care, right? You can live in the streets. Yet, if you have chosen or your life has led you to live in the streets, then you complain about it. That's when I hold you accountable. And this is the thing where you're right. Having a stage, a platform, whatever, has a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I will always say I stand 10 toes down on the things I say, and I'm always willing to, be held accountable for the things I say. And that's why I'm a big believer in being held accountable for the actions and the words you say. I'm not saying anyone's perfect, right? This is why I said where I've had a bad time with my ex, right? She's ruined my life in a sense, but I'm not going to complain about it because I chose her, right? It's my fault that I chose this woman. And the results I got, well, I have no one to blame but myself. So I'm not here saying my baby mom is the worst ever. Like it's like she's like the scum of the earth. No, because I loved her and I chose her. So really, it was just my terrible vetting skills. I'm to blame. That's honestly, I don't know what Red Pill channel is like that. This is why I said I hold why I'm different and why my platform is different is that I hold accountability is the principle of my channel, in my sense, right? That's what I'm saying. I hold myself accountable and I hold others accountable, right? So I don't know. What do you think?
I think that is how it should be. What that comment that you just highlighted, when women sabotaging the younger generation of girls in this feminist propaganda. Okay, so there's a point in there that I do kind of agree with. I'm not gonna put it all on women and daughters, but like you said, if we all held ourselves accountable, we would probably teach our children not to make the same mistakes. And it sucks when you don't view what you've done or don't view your mistakes as mistakes. Then you don't, then they're doomed to behave the same way, because they're like, oh yeah, this is the way to do it. And if that's gotten you in trouble, then that's gonna get the next generation of you in trouble too. So yeah.
Exactly.
That part.
That is what this is the problem, right? I'm sorry, out of every race of women, at least in my point of view, Black women do not understand the word accountability. I'm sorry. Black women do not understand the word accountability. Now, I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying all black women. But honestly, my controversial opinion, the majority of black women do not understand the word accountability. It is venom. It is blasphemy to their ears. Accountability. So
see her content, but that just the girl. I came across a video, popped over to her page, and I seen one of the videos with her husband, and now
that's funny because I also came across your content and went to your page, and I saw a video with your husband. Let me tell you. You get it? She ain't got one. You know what gets me every time is when they say that they block. I'm just a girl. Like she is messaging you her content. Like she's trolling up under your video. Like she's making videos talking about your husband. Like she's making videos tagging you. But y'all making videos tagging her. Y'all making videos talking about her husband. You said you went to her page and blocked her. I saw how y'all be up on her videos trolling her. And to keep it a biscuit with you, it seemed like she need to be blocking y'all.
This is the thing, right? If you don't like my message, don't follow it. Don't listen, right? This is the thing where if people, let's say I've had black people go on my page and say, why are you talking about my community? Why are you talking about us? Okay, cool. If you don't like me saying anything, don't watch it. Right? That's the freedom. That's the magic, right? Of being an adult, of social media. You can click away. You cannot listen. Right? That's the magic of, you know what? Don't listen, don't follow anyone you don't like. That's the magic of it. Wow. You know, that this ain't a communist country. This is a thing where people complain she's talking about single women. She's talking about single women that want to change. She's talking about single women that complains about their life. She's talking about single women that, you know what, are struggling in their singlehood, complaining about their singlehood. This is what we talked about this yet other day, right? I can't say shit to you because you don't complain. Really, there's nothing I can say because you don't complain about your state in life. So really, it's crazy for me to push anything on you when you are content, maybe even happy with how your life is. Okay. Now, if you, and I've said this before, I'm a big promoter of women being or wanting to be happily single for the rest of their life. If you are happily single, please stay it. Please stay it. Don't change your happiness. Please do not get married. Please do not get in a relationship. Do not deal with men. If you are happily single, you're happy, stay it. The problem is, it's usually a lie. It's usually a lie. And when the people who trigger it, is usually they're living that lie, right? They're living that lie because they're so triggered, right? They're triggered that a happily married woman is talking to people how if you want to change your supposed unhappiness, the state in life, well, here are the things you could do, right? That's the thing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Totally agree. But also people on social media will say what gets them attention. So that's tough too.
Well, I know how social media works.
So you're right. We can click away if we don't like it, but you know what you titled this and it gets attention. For better or worse, people will come to tune in and check it out.
I do get that. I do get that.
Yeah.
But that's why, that is why I do what I do, right? Because, again, sometimes we forget what the life of a single woman is. Okay? We forget it because we don't want to see it. Let's play that game. Let's play that game, right? Let's play that game right now. I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been there.
No.
She ordered me some breakfast. Some eggs and waffles, please. And I could get bacon.
Yeah, it's not too many things in this world that could make me crash out.
Did you see what that was?
Wait, yeah, go back again. She called her boyfriend a what? She called her boyfriend to have him DoorDash her enough food for.
No.
She ordered me some breakfast. Some eggs and waffles, please. And I could get bacon.
Yeah, it's not too many things in this world that could make me crash out, but that definitely takes the cake for sure. And it's just like usually in this situation, I wouldn't be mad at the dude because he owes me no loyalty. But at this point, both of y'all playing with my money. So when I pull up, both of y'all getting kicked in the teeth. Are you crazy? I'd be damned if I order my girl a meat lover's pizza and I find out she was getting a different type of sausage, skin flavored at that. Because it's just like women are so evil, bro. Like, granted, both genders cheat, but women just OD it. Why are you playing with my money, bro? Why are you on the phone with me and another man is caressing you in the bed, talking about, yeah, don't get bacon, I don't eat pork, baby. And he fouled too, because it got to.
This is a thing where yes, you can live whatever life you want. I don't like, go ahead, go crazy, right? Live the life of debauchery. Where I jump in, right, as a content creator, is that don't say shit that you did, right? Don't complain about the consequences of your actions. Plain and simple, okay? A man that hated women all his life and then complained, or hated women and put down women and say the most heinous things about women, and then say that I can't get a girlfriend. No, I would be on his ass as well, okay? I would say the same shit that I say to anyone, that, you know, there are consequences to your actions, okay? That's what I've said. I stand 10 toes down. My content, my platform is I'm talking about good, average men. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. If you live a life of that, you stand 10 toes down on your morality, on your principles, then you are an audience for me, right? Then you are a follower, you are a subscriber that's perfect for me, right? That's how I go about it. I'm not on this hating women. I'm on this holding women accountable for their actions and their words. Because honestly, let's not be idiots. Men and women, that is why we're on earth. Not to make money, because that was not always a thing. Not to, I don't know, build structures, whatever, play video games. That's not always a thing. What is always a thing is men and women. That is universal. That is eternal. Right? Everything else is just plus and minuses. It's just part of life. What is eternal is men and women. That's why, surprise, surprise, that's how I talk more about. Because that is eternal. That is, no matter how society changes, it's always men and women. Games can come and go. Money can change currency, can change looks, can change whatever. But men and women is always eternal. So that's why I talk about that shit. And that's why I hold women accountable. Because again, we have years, decades of women holding men accountable. Hell, government, society, court hold men accountable. Yet, in recent years, since, yes, great, the feminism, equality, all the shit, well, yes, we are now maybe backtracking, maybe going to the far other side, where we don't even hold women accountable at all, right? Because, yes, we are trying to self-correct, because I talked about this with my sister, right? Since the change of society, we are going so far to the other side because we want to counteract it, right? Let's say racism, okay? Now we're going so far that we can't say shit because everything is racist, right? That's the thing where now, yes, I get it. Past is terrible. Yet the problem is that we're not fixing it. We are tiptoeing. We are really being so careful, so coddling that it's to the far extreme. And now it's making people worse, in my opinion, because we didn't stabilize it. Okay? Just like this with women thing. I do not say that racism is bad, equality is all this shit. I get it. But the problem is that we are not going about it right. Right? Is that at the end of the day, the true equalizer, in my opinion, is holding people accountable, holding people to a reasonable sense of morality and principles, right? And now we're going to a far extreme because we don't want to touch on people's feelings, right? Feelings that equate like, oh, if you're racist, if you're misogynist, right? Because now it's like, it's fine for black people to be racist against white people because all is now is like, oh, because you were racist to me. So now it's the far left. It's fine that you hate on all men. All men are trash because now, oh, because before it's like, so it's like now it's fine to go all to the other side. And I don't like that. And I'm not supportive of that, right?
Okay.
I am supportive of true equality and true being a reasonable adult. Not the person who, you know what, now that I have power, I'm going to be the abuser. I'm not into that shit.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
No, I agree with that. Like, it's a problem having to tiptoe around, you know, someone's feelings because eventually, because you don't deliver the message. And yeah, we're doing a lot of tiptoeing. So I get that. We've got to find a balance, a way to talk. So I guess my favorite example, in South Africa, I think it was like the way they dealt with apartheid or their racism problem. When they got rid of apartheid, they this is what they credit like Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu with doing, like making it something that people could talk about, so that in South Africa, white and black people could coexist even after such a contentious past, because those leaders made it okay for it to be something they could talk about, not just constantly being at odds, but like what's the example, like when they disbanded apartheid, instead of going the complete opposite way and saying we're going to brutally punish anyone who had anything to do with this terrible institution previously, they said no, we're going to be willing to forgive it, but you have to come out and admit to what you did, and we have to talk about it. And there was a mixture there of people admitting what they did wrong, admitting their mistakes, and being forgiven for them, being shown grace, and other people being allowed to say how they felt about what was done to them without it becoming, you know, I think we can handle a lot more than we're willing to handle, than we think we can. So when you say stuff like, hey, you can't say anything now because it's going to offend someone, I do think that's a shame, because I think it prevents us from being able to talk about things we really need to talk about. And that does create some of the problems that you discuss. Like
maybe that's the part of the thing where I'm talking about where, yes, it is nice if you could say a certain thing in a certain way that would be reciprocal, but I think, yes, I think we've gone too far where it's not even, we've gone too far where now people are just too sensitive, right? In the sense that this is the problem, where the problem is like we were at one end of the spectrum and then jump to the other end instead of like slowly, right, moving towards the other end. We just jumped, right? So now is that we're at too far and now we're just there. And I'm not saying that we should go back to the end, i.e. like let's be racist to black people, or i.e. let's be misogynist to women. No. But the problem is that it's harder to go back now because we're too far to that side. Because now if we move any little bit, it's perceived as the worst, right? That's the problem where now, you know what? I'm gonna be blunt, because again, just being a little bit is now we're coddling. It's now you can't handle it. And I think I'm not doing that, right? I can't do it. So what do Anything else?
Um,
How do you think about this whole? I mean, you saw these videos, right? That's why I wanted to show you her perspective and the women that hate her, which is insane because I showed. And like I said, I really didn't view any of her videos before this, right? I maybe saw a little bit, couple seconds and stuff like that, but really, me watching this is really watching it with you.
okay.
Right? Getting her content right there is watching it with you. So really, I'm seeing the perspective, right? And this is why I like my channel, because I think it's not like any other kind of channel in the kind of sphere. You know, people are talking about like red pill shit like that. It's not, but but that's why. What do you think?
I think it's good that we get to discuss this stuff. Yeah. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything you say, but that's all right. It's all right to have disagreements. I do agree that we should be willing to talk about what people say and not worry so much how they say it. I think that would promote better discussion. But yeah, these are discussions that we need to have. Yeah.
Well, what do you think? I mean, what's your perspective right now? I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Where you already seen the perspective of the woman and the women that hate her. So, what do you see? What do you think?
I still think they're a loud minority. I think the biggest danger is how they influence. I mean, who's on TikTok and Instagram? It's my niece, right? My niece is gonna be the one who's gonna.
That's the thing, right?
That stuff.
I'm seeing this more and more, right?
Uh-huh.
The younger generation of women, and I think Blue said it, right? I think it was Blue saying it. The older generation of women, or women like this generation or whatever, is now affecting the younger generation of women, right? And they will build or gain or continue that disdain for men. And I think that's the dangerous thing, right? That is the dangerous part. Because, here's the thing. It's a short clip, pretty short, where this is where I'm talking about.
I already know somebody's gonna hate me for saying this, but that whole narrative where people try to tell you that you're messed up emotionally because you grew up without your biological father, I'm pretty sure everything that is amazing about me came from the lack of male presence in my life. The reason I'm okay today is because I had so many women around me who showed me that it is possible to take care of yourself without a man around. Every single mentor that I've ever had that encouraged me to write, that encouraged me to do art, that encouraged me to become a teacher, that encouraged me to become a published author, those were all women who stepped in to guide me, value me, to teach me what it looks like to love and care about other people. And as I got older and I started interacting with men more often, I didn't see those characteristics in any of them. Growing up in my community, I did not look around and see Black men who made me want to do something with myself, who made me say, oh my gosh, I want to learn something from them. Of course, along the way, I've met some really decent Black men. Whether y'all like it or not, they're few and far in between. Okay, I say all that to say that I would be willing to bet my retirement savings that growing up with my biological father in the house with me would not have resulted in a better version of me. Just to put icing on the cake, what do you think is going to happen to women who live in households with a higher percentage of male family members? Right. Feel free to look that one up.
That's the energy. That's the, like, imagine that was your daughter. Imagine that was your daughter that said that, you know what, if you were in her life, it would not have been good. If you were in her life, you would have contributed to terrible things. That's the vitriol right there. This is what I'm saying. The poison that is in our society.
Now, I think we could do a whole episode on just that clip, bro.
I do too.
Crazy. So like, and I don't want to go long on it. I won't want to go long on it. I will say this. That could be her truth. Here's why. Her father wasn't in her life. Now I don't know details about what happened. But did he have a child and didn't neglect that child? He probably wasn't a good man. She probably was better off without him because he was probably someone who, who wouldn't have shown her an example of a good man. I mean, he didn't, right? What sucks is that, I don't come from that type of family, right? And so my brother's daughter is really the only, just my mom, and she had 4 sons and my dad. And my niece is going to grow up in a family where there are a lot of black men. And we're going to treat her kind and show her positive examples of black men. And I don't want her thinking that thing should be the other way around. Whoo! So that hurts. But also in her defense, I guess, I don't know if we understand from a woman's point of view how men can be sometimes. And I'm not talking about you or me, but I believe that they encountered, even in passing, just men who don't value them as people past their, their looks or their body or their ability to sexually fulfill you.
Here's the thing, right? This is the problem where your niece could be affected by shit like this.
I know.
Where she views the men in her life as dangerous, as, I should stay away. Because here's the thing, right? Remember the woman I showed you? Her life, right? Her life. If women, let's say this woman's mother, followed that woman's teachings, that woman's words, you think she would not have a different life? Where a man that is active, that is present, that maybe is a good father, instead of following, listen to the woman that laughed at her husband, right? Imagine if her mother probably followed that man, live a single life, enjoy your life, all that shit. Don't care about picking shitty men. This is why I showed you these videos. The contrast, right? The women that hate her, the women that may follow in the opposite teachings, produces this type of woman. Because you're right. There are good men and bad men. Surprise, surprise. That is the world we live in. Okay? That is the world we live in. Yes, I'm sorry that this one woman, right, has lived a life where she don't care about no man, right? She feels no man is important. Okay, cool. That's her life. But here's the problem. It's a cycle. It's a cycle when, you know what? Her point of view is that why she doesn't listen to, let's say this. She most likely, her type of personality, mindset, would listen to the women that laughed, the other woman, right, that laughed at that woman's husband. That's probably the woman she follows, right? That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the mindset. What I'm talking about. That's the poison. Because we never think about, things are a domino effect. It's a chain reaction. Where this is why I hold myself accountable, right? Is that I'm not blaming, the women because I'm not blaming the women in my life for all that, any of that shit, right? I'm blaming my own actions, my own inabilities. I'm blaming how shit works. Because again, my mom chose a terrible man. There's nothing I can say, right? My mom, we live 2 different lives. My mom chose the shitty man, right? But am I blaming him for, if whatever, No, it is what it is, right? But I'll take accountability where I want to change certain things, right? Here's a woman, right? And she's single, but she complains about men. I see the other videos too. She complains about men constantly. Or say men are not, in the sense that she's not blaming the men she date. She just blaming that men are shitty. Men are useless. Men are not important, right? Men don't contribute to, look at this, right? Look at her title. Men do not have anything unique to offer their daughters that cannot be taught by other women. So what if your niece thought like that? What if your niece followed this? Her life full with what I believe, what I would say good men, yet here's a woman, right? An influencer. What is it? She's probably not that big, but 17,000 views, 17,000 followers. That's the thing, right? The misandry, hate towards men. it's like, this is the insanity, right? Okay, fine. Men do not have anything to offer to their daughters. Fine. Stay single. Don't have kids. It's like, if you think men are so useless, why procreate with them? Why have kids with them? This is the insanity, the lack of accountability, the lack of actually, this is why I don't coddle women, right? The irresponsibility of that statement, of this post, of this video is absolutely disgusting to me, because I have a daughter. I have a daughter that I love, that, I think the world of, right? And I'm scared. I also have a baby mom that's not letting me see my kids. Okay. And what do you think what I see that what my baby mom that's keeping me away from my kids would teach my kids? This one or the other one?
Yeah.
So this is the thing where this is where I talk about for average men, right? Because this is the struggles we're going through, we're dealing with. Why, why I like to talk to you about it, because I'm showing you a light that, that's possibly this, right? This is right here, because yes, you are not active on social media, but the problem is that you are one few men or few people in this world, at least definitely in the Western world, that's not active in social media, right? And this is what men hear, right? The hate. I just did a video on Monday of people making a musical saying, and they're basically singing continuously, men are trash. And that's on TikTok. But imagine if men were saying women are trash. That will be taken down right away. But it is fine to see a video of women and men, right? Men are in that video too, singing men are trash. And then you have this video. Men can't offer women anything, can't offer their daughters anything. Good fathers, because she said men. Good fathers can't offer their daughters anything, because they don't need their fathers, right? They just need their mothers. So would I be surprised that my baby mom that keeps me away from my kids, what's her train of thought? What's her thinking? Right? Because in her mind, she thinks her kids don't need the man, don't need the father in their life, needs their money, but doesn't need his presence. That's the struggle men are going through. Right? And that's the danger that why I built my platform on, because I think that's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks. But when I say that you could do a whole episode on that, you could talk about all the different reasons they're to blame. Because you could say, hey, I don't know if she was raised by a woman who kept her away from her father, or is it her father's fault for being a crappy guy and putting her mother in a situation where he wasn't around to help and she had to do it by herself. And this girl had to watch her mom struggle without a man and be successful. And like she said, only women encouraged her to do positive things. I mean, if she had a man in her life who could encourage her to do positive things, who could teach her what a good man looked like, if she ever decided to be with one, that would change her viewpoint. But he wasn't around. So how much are bad men to blame for that?
But here's the thing. I also think, right, women like with this mindset will only attract bad men. When this is a thing where you got to think about, like, if I think that no man can offer women anything good.
I mean, she sounds like she wants to be single.
I mean, she sounds like she either want to be single or she can only attract bad men. And that's the problem, right? That is the problem that we have, right? Where, yes, her father, let's say, worst case scenario, was a shitty ass man, right? But like, there's a point where we take accountability. My father was a shitty ass man. Am I going to turn into a shitty ass man because of him too? No. I will take accountability for my actions. I'm not going to view, let's say the flip side, if my mom was a shitty ass woman, am I going to hate on women? We get serial killers because of shit like that. You know, that's the thing. We get serial killers because of shit like that. So this is a problem where We get toxic women because of things like this. And then toxic women create other toxic women. So that's, I mean, yes, we could talk about this like crazy, but I don't.
Yeah. You can go ham on it.
But yeah, I think it was guys, this is probably a far and few between because my bro is usually busy, not always doing this. But I love these conversations because in my honest opinion, it's good interaction, good dialogue, and it's a different perspective. Because if you guys like Blue, right? He's got Blue or Parasocial. He's joined my other lives, so they know that it's only me talking. So you're not gonna get a different perspective, and that's why. Honestly, I don't categorize my channel as red pill or whatever shit like that because I like to do things differently and stand on my own principles, right? Now, it may coincide with kind of red pill some content, but honestly, at the end of the day, I said this. You can listen to a lot of people, but you have to process. You're an adult. Everyone's an adult. You process this information your own self. Don't follow people like a sheep. Don't listen to all the words I say. Don't listen to what anyone say. You hear it, you process it, right? You figure out how to implement it, how to think about it yourself. That's how I go about it, right? So, any last words?
No, man. Just that I enjoyed the discussion, and I mean, we'll do this again.
I hope so. I mean, I know
it might not be tomorrow, but we'll do.
Yeah, I liked it. Because this is the thing, right? When I do the lives myself, it kind of goes scheduled, screen, like things go exactly how I predict it. When I do with you, bro, it's like I don't know how our conversation goes, so I don't know how it goes. So I like it. Blue, thank you. I mean, I'm about to be off anyway. We're about to end the live, so thank you for joining. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are my brothers, right? Hopefully you guys like my friend here, Addison. Check out his it's his Twitter handle. But yeah, comment if you guys like him, if you guys like his different perspective. I mean, again, we shouldn't always disagree, right? We should always agree too. So that's the way it's good having a different perspective. It's always nice being respectful. That's a true way to have an actual dialogue, right? I mean, to be honest, I can't have a women on here because again, it's going to get emotional. It's going to get argumentative. So that's why I having a woman on here, but he has a perspective like a woman. So really,
cool. I take that. That's good.
But yeah, hopefully you guys like it. I mean, this is a different type of video, and it's a nice thing to spice it up, right? So hopefully you guys like it, but it's amazing. Almost 3 hours, so it's too long, especially for this. But yeah, you guys like it. Yeah. Later, guys.